And hello there, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is the DOUG here, and it's time to stream on another one of those fine, wonderful games from Gamizuma, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, I apologize, but it's spelled Gamuzumi. And this is Sakura MMO, aka we're about to see some good old fine anime goodness. Just give me a few minutes to get this shared to everybody because I do want it to be seen, and I'm sure some people might need this, particularly if they're watching Monday Night Raw, you poor bastards. Because why the hell would you want to watch Monday Night Raw when you could watch this? I will say this though, if you have a child, you may not want them to see this, because they'll probably ask questions. Because if you know, we've done some of these types of games as well in the past. But anyway, let's get started. And there's the first great picture of the day, you know. I'm sure we could all agree that this is beautiful artwork. And we'll be seeing more beautiful artwork throughout the game. Is that really all the fight you had in you? How pathetic. You won't get away with this, you loathsome dark witch. Loathsome? I raise an eyebrow like I'm the people's champion, The Rock. You smell what I'm cooking? Get this shared to everyone, so this is going to take a while. Are you really in a position to call me that right now? I mean, look at yourself. I bring the heel of my shoe down on my fallen adversary's head. Okay, so she's going for a curb stomp. She thinks she's Seth frickin' Rollins. She winces. I don't blame her. Only wear the finest of boots, made from the hide of slain dragons. My heels temple off into long, thin points that are just perfect for stepping and squashing. The fine knight winces, but she still doesn't cry out. She must have too much pride. Though I've beaten her into a pulp and thrown her onto the muddy ground, she still hasn't given in. Her resolve is quite admirable, but... Are you trying to resist me? Well, we'll just see how long that lasts. I bring the heel of my boot down again. That seems to have done the trick. Finally, the knight cries out in pain. Yes, that's right. Cry for me more, just like that. At least this night was pretty. Until she foolishly decided to challenge me. She doesn't look all that pretty now. Her head has been pushed into the dirt. Her red hair is thick with earth and soil. Her cheeks are splattered with mud. Her armor is cracked here and there, ruining the smooth skin underneath. She was wearing goblin-made armor, too. It was finely crafted and must have cost a pretty penny. It's too bad that, when pitted against my magical powers, armor like this offers about as much protection as blotting paper. You thought you could defeat me? You thought you could take me by surprise while I was having a leisurely stroll? How foolish. How could a weak knight like you ever hope to best Vola, the fearsome black witch? You might as well have watched up to me wearing nothing but ribbons. I giggled softly beneath my breath. Well, I share this to Mr. Jones because I'm sure he could use this at MIB headquarters right now. The forest is deadly silent. The low, quiet sound of my laughter, mixed with the once cute night girl's whimpers, are the only noises to be heard for miles around. Nobody's going to come and help you, you know. We're the only ones here. And even if we want, everybody's far too afraid of me to intervene. As they should be. That's how things are. But you know what? I'll tell you a little secret just between me and you. I'm glad you tried to attack me. So few people bother nowadays. My life and Asper, and I know I mispronounced that one, has become rather dull. Fortunately, if there are girls like you out there, as pretty as they are stupid, who are willing to put themselves in harm's way, I think I can still have fun. You... The knight looks up at me. Though she's groveling at my feet, her body racked with painful confusions, she still has the audacity to meet my eye. She's a stubborn one. That's why I like her. The ones who break too easily are so boring. Do you really think this is fun? Of course I do. Why else would I bother playing with you? The rumors are true. Everything they say about you is true. You really are evil. Evil? Don't flatter me. I'm a perfectly normal woman. We all need to let off some steam every once in a while. And you're forgetting, you're the one who first attacked me. You deserve it. You're ruining the beautiful order Yeah, I can't pronounce that name. Nobody can relax as long as you're around. That's why you needed to be taken down. That's why I took it upon myself to bring you to justice. Justice. How noble. This woman is idealistic as she is foolish. Well, I don't hate people who pick fights. They know they can't win for the sake of their ideas. I think it's kind of cute, actually. In a pitiful sort of way. Yeah, I should definitely share this with my buddy Travis. He'd be like, what the fuck, man? I got children. Maybe I should offer my foreign adversary a compliment. Now, of course, this is when we can do a... choice. We can either compliment the knight's bravery or mock the knight's stupidity. Now, I should point out to people watching, either once this is done or once you come in, there are 3 different endings, so you do have to choose carefully on what you're going to do. Of course, we're just going to go for one ending just because I want you guys to buy the game to see the other 2. So we're going to compliment the knight's bravery. So, you fought me in the name of justice, is it? How noble your goals are. It almost makes me feel guilty for defeating you in such a dishonorable way. Greg says, just stopping by to say hi. Bed soon. Had to be awake at 4 a.m. for work tomorrow morning. No problem, Greg. I figured you could... Just know, though, I want you to dream about this beautiful anime woman with nice, good legs and nice, big titties. I want you to dream about that tonight so you can have a good day at work tomorrow. Just don't let any children watch, because they might start asking questions. I'll let them watch anyway, you know. They need to learn sometime, because they're not going to learn it in school, and better to learn it from me instead of The Simpsons. Are you mocking me? Tittle bitties. Exactly. Are you mocking me? Of course not. I value your treachery, brave knight. But technically can't win every battle for you. It's a shame. With your passion, you might make a worthy foe someday. You just need to train even harder. For a dark witch, I suppose you do talk some sense. My change has too hastily. I didn't prepare enough. It seems I underestimated you. Well, so as long as you learnt a lesson, our skirmish next time might prove to be more interesting. Now, perhaps I should help you to your feet as a sign of good sportsmanship. I would hate to be called a sore winner. I draw my foot away from the fallen knight and extend my hand. She reaches up to take it, her fingers trembling when... I forgot to do one thing, so blue scream of death real quick. I gotta turn off notifications. Sorry about that. That's the first time I forgot to turn them off in a while, actually. Who invited me to a damn chat party? Oh, no, I'm not playing that right now, so blah. And we're back. Oh? I blink. Her body's breaking up. It's dissolving into bits and pieces of white light. The weight under my foot vanishes. My heel meets the ground once more. The far out is nowhere to be seen. I sigh. Well, that's no fun. I meant to keep the knight alive a bit longer than that, but the burn status effect my fire spell inflicted on her must have chipped away the last of her health. Her HP finally reached 0, so of course she disappeared. She must have respawned back at her last checkpoint. Maybe I could pursue the girl, but there's no point. I'll only beat her again, and hunting down weaklings is no fun. That's from Kaiba's Blue Eyes Right lightning attack made her disintegrate. I'll fight anybody who challenges me, of course, but the end result is always the same. My victories, though numerous, are always short-lived. I sigh. That's so boring. I set my mouse to one side and look at my computer screen. Now we're in the real world again. My dark witch kid Viola is standing alone in the Roseberry Forest. The other character I was fighting, I think her name was Ellen, is gone. Though I used a few magical attacks to defeat her, the trees and leaves and plants that surround Viola show no signs of damage. That's just how things are in MMOs. No matter how strong you get or how much you level your character up, or how many powerful items you hoard, you can't make any real difference in the world around you. The people you kill will always respawn. So do the random enemies. After a bout of the environment goes back to the way it was. It's almost like you were never there at all. I guess I better walk back to my castle. I perform the teleportation spell. Viola disappears from Roseberry Forest and reappears in her darkened Bordeaux in her very own castle. I named it Nightmare Cathedral. I wanted it to sound as imposing as possible. Many adventurers have tried to lay siege to Viola's castle in the past, of course. Viola took care of them all with a single dark fire spell. After that, people stopped trying. It's worth for players to challenge me head on now. It's easy. It's all too easy. I've been playing Aspen Online since it first came out 2 years ago. When I started, I was just a lonely dark mage with no real equipment and a single measly lightning spell. Hey, there's the lightning spell you were mentioning! To my name. Over time, however, I managed to improve my skills. I got strong. Now I'm one of the strongest, if not the strongest player in all Aspen Online. By the way, that's what she looks like, apparently, when she's in human form. I gotta say, I wish a female would come just to my house like that. I would be very happy. I probably wouldn't be single anymore. I've earned so much in-game money, there isn't much left for me to buy. I own a lot of rare and limited edition items. My armor is one of a kind. It's like Rob Van Dam. While most players struggle to purchase a small hut with a single room to store their items, I own my very own castle, which is filled with spoilers from all my battles. I even have my own maid. I can use my necromancer ruby necklace to summon skeletons and zombies to fight for me. People in the Aspen Online forum speak of me with fear. Many avoid me when they see me coming. A slim few, the brave, foolhardily ones like Alana, will try to fight me for the prestige and the honor of bringing the fearsome Viola down. It never works, of course. 5 against 1? 10 against 1? I fought 20 people before. 4 parties tried to band together to defeat me, and I dispatched all of them without taking a single hit. So, does that mean she's like John Cena? Or Hulk Hogan? And I built this name up for myself all while holding down a difficult 9-to-5 job in the real world. Unlike some of the other strong players in Aspen Online, I'm not a net. I'm not a bored teenager with too much free time, or a college student skipping her classes, or a recently laid off civil servant trying to use up their time between job hunting. I'm an adult woman, almost 27. I wake up early in the morning, get dressed, make myself breakfast, and go to my office. In the real world, I'm a lawyer, a defense attorney. I have never seen a defense attorney look this damn good in my life. I would like to see a defense attorney like this. I would hire her just so I can look at her. And before somebody says that's wrong, I am a single man. Shut the fuck up. It's a difficult job, but it's also a rewarding one. It only pays the bills for my nice little apartment. And after work, when I want to unwind and relax, I log into Aspen Online. Being the strongest player, that always helps me calm me down. Washes away the stress from a busy day at work. It lets me unwind. Lately, however, something's felt a little off. I mean, it's not like any of this is really real. Viola is me, but I push my fingertips against the screen above Viola's frozen image. She doesn't move unless I tell her to. She can't do anything on her own. I designed her after me. She has my hair and eyes, but she isn't me. Her life is much more exciting than mine. It's not like I hate my job, but sometimes it gets kind of boring. I'm tired of doing the same thing day in, day out. Wake up, make breakfast, go to work, come home, play MMO, sleep. Is that all there is? Is this what being adults and all about? Yeah, until you have a kid, and then your life's pretty much fucking over for the most part until they become young teenagers, and then you can party again. More or less. At least that's what I've been told. Am I going to end up as stressed out and unhappy as my parents? I eye my dark witch Viola with jealousy. She certainly looks imposing with her black gown and her cold, icy blue eyes. I can do what I want at Aspen Online. I can wear what I want. I'm the one in control. I control Viola and she controls everybody else. People are afraid of me. Some revere me. Others adore me. They all respect me. That hasn't changed for almost a year. It hasn't changed, but nothing ever changes. My job's always the same, but I thought Aspen Online would be different. It was fun while I was leveling up and doing all the different quests and dungeons, but now I've done everything there is to do. I've seen everything there is to see. There's nothing new to explore anymore. I say for the umpteenth time, what if I lived in Aspen? What if I really was the Dark Witch? Dark Magician Girl? I mean, you do have the assets to be the Dark Magician Girl. Think of all the people I could meet. Think of all the places I could see. I could see it all for real with my own eyes. Adorley where the darklings live. Hawthorne Market where the half-breeds sell their goods. Roseberry Forest where the witch Grendel lives. Life would be so much more interesting then. Everything would be much more fun. But that's not possible. As an upstanding contributing member to society, I understand the difference between reality and video games. She has not been to conventions then yet. Aspen Online is fun, and I find it easy to lose myself in its detailed and vibrant world, but it's not real. It will never be real. Well, it will be if you move to South or North Dakota. When I turn the console off, it will be gone, just like my Dark Witch Viola. The real world, however, will never go away. Not unless it's hit by an asteroid. Neither were my responsibilities. Well, if the Detroit Lions never win the Super Bowl, that would happen. My life never changes. Aspen never changes. It's all so boring. Hello! Once again, there's some beautiful artwork for you, my subscribers. Hopefully you enjoy that, the frog. Floppy. Again, like I say in the description, not every video is made for children. This is one of those videos. I move my clothes, lean back in my bed and sigh. I wish something interesting would happen. Anything. Anything at all. But my words die on my lips. Drowniness swirls inside my head. My eyelashes flutter. All of a sudden they feel horribly heavy. I didn't realize quite how tired I was until I let my head fall against my pillow. I should probably turn my computer off before I go to sleep. But then the computer seems so far away all of a sudden. Viola is still there, frozen on my screen. She can't move without me. She won't move because my wireless mouse is... Where is it? On the floor? Did I knock it off my desk? Oh well. I can't pick it up now. I can't do anything. All my strength has left my body. I have no more willpower. Slowly, very slowly, my eyelids fall shut. I enter a long, dreamless sleep. Good morning, my lady, and how are you feeling today? What? I blink and yawn, I stretch. The covers pull around my body when I sit up in bed. Hello, witch! Again, if any female witches out there want to come dressed like that, I will gladly be their slave. I'm not going to hide it. I tremble the moment the air hits my skin. For some reason, my bedroom feels a lot colder than it usually does. It's supposed to be springtime in Tokyo. The cherry blossoms are blooming on all the trees. The weather's been not exactly hot lately, but it's certainly warm. Why then do I feel so frigid? I wipe my eyes with the back of my arm and look down at myself. I look at my bare arms and legs. Why can I see so much cleavage? Because this game is great, that's why. All I have to conceal my body is a thin, flimsy gland made of dark lace. It's nice lace, like quality, and doesn't scratch my skin. In fact, it feels rather soft and smooth. But it's not the kind of thing I'd usually wear. I don't think I even own any clothes like this. Where did it come from? What's going on? Oh, is there something not to your liking, my lady? My lady? I finally registered the second presence in my bedroom. It's the maid! I'm having flashbacks to know that strawberry game where we became that lover of Satan's daughter. There's a girl standing beside me. Or would it be more apt to say woman? She looks about the same age as I am, but it's hard to tell. She has short dark hair and dark skin. She's wearing a maid uniform complete with ruffled socks and a furry headband. She's cute. At least she would be if it weren't for one or two little details. Her horns? Yes, what is it, my lady? You have horns? Indeed I do. The maid presses her fingers gently against the curved horns that protrude from her skull. I have horns, my lady, because I am a darkling. Do you not remember? A darkling. What's going on? Is this girl some kind of cosplayer? That'd explain the maid outfit at least, but why is she in my room? Well, I say my room, but on closer inspection, this doesn't look like my room at all. This is nothing like my apartment. The walls are made of stone. My bed is a large four-poster with crisp white blankets and feathered stuffed pillows. Looks fitting for a princess. I used to fantasize about having a bed like this when I was little. Just what is this place anyway? I don't understand. I don't understand at all, but... Oh dear, did you have a bad dream, my lady? A bad dream? It must be. I must be dreaming. There's no other explanation for this. I pinched the exposed flesh in my arm with my fingers, but... It hurts. Everything remains stubbly solid. Does that mean this is really real? Did some fairy last night happen to overhear my pleas? Did the whole world shift to accommodate my desires? I don't think that's possible, but how else would you explain this situation? Magic lamp? I look at myself again. I look at my room. I look at my maid. That's when it finally hits me. I know what this place is. This is my bedroom, but it's not my bedroom back in Japan. This is my bedroom in Aspen Online. I lovely furnish this room with items worn in raids I bought from the market, all dyed to suit my particular taste. This furniture, the bed in particular, is all very expensive. It took me several months to obtain all these pieces, but I think it was worth it in the end. The bedroom really is classy. I put a lot of care into it. How could I ever forget about this room belongs to me? But if this is my bedroom in Aspen Online, I must be... Viola? That's right, your name is Viola, my lady, and I'm your maid, Nevi. I see, so you're Nevi. That's right, I am at your service, always and forever. Nevi takes a hold of the hem of her skirt and drops a neat curtsy. Right. Now the fog on my brain is starting to clear. I do remember her. Neve is my mate. She's my darkling summon. I bought her for a pretty penny in Abaddon. Neve isn't a playable character in Aspen Online. She doesn't have any energy of her own. She's an NPC. She's pretty done with that, really, just like the bed or the wardrobe. However, is there something you wish to tell me, my lady? Neve tilts her head to one side. She blinks. She looks just like any other human. He certainly doesn't look like an intimate object. Like the little wooden puppet from the fairy story, has she managed to become a real girl? I don't know. This is so confusing. My lady, what is it? What in the world is going on? Oh dear, you still appear to be half asleep. I don't presume to know what nightmare might have afflicted you, but it must have been fearful indeed. Perhaps you need a little help calming down? I never curiously. What do you mean by that exactly? You asked me to do this for you many times in the past when you felt tense or stressed. I believe it has quite the relaxing effect on you. I know my methods might be a little unconventional, but you had no cause to complain about them before. I still don't understand. I run a hand through my hair. It's all messed up and tangled. What are you going to do to me? I'm still going to offer you a massage, of course. A massage? Yes. As your maid, it is my duty to serve you. Seeing you happy makes me happy, my lady. That's been a lot of using Evie as a petty means to store my extra items that take up too much inventory space. That's all she could do. I couldn't talk to her and still couldn't ask her to give me massages. But this isn't Aspen Online. It looks a lot like her, but it's far too rude to be a mere MMO. If you don't like it, you may command me to stop at any moment, but... Evie's eyes are half-lidded. I don't think you will. I'm rather proud of my skills, and I think you'll agree that I'm quite good at my craft. Please, my lady, just lie back and let me take care of everything. I'm still not sure what's real and what's not, but Nevi's little spurs convinced me she'll make a good saleswoman. Her skills might be wasted as my maid. I can't deny the thought of massage does sound rather appealing. Should I take her up on her offer? Yeah, we're gonna reject it. That does sound good, but I don't know if I'm in the mood for a massage right now. There's quite a lot to take in, and I doubt having a stranger's hands, even if that stranger is my loyal maid, Nevi, running over my body will relax me. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Oh, I see. Well, if that's what my lady wants. Nevi exhales softly, her shoulders slump. She tries to look unconcerned, but I can tell she's disappointed by this turn of events. She said she wanted to give me a massage for my shaker. What a selfless maid. If I'm really in for the Field Dark Witch, and I have to punish her later. I'm not really in a punishing mood right now, though. I feel like I'm a lost little girl. Sit back down on the edge of my bed, frowning. Now, what am I supposed to do? My lady? Navy horns my side, anxious as ever to please me. I know you don't want a massage, but would you allow me to brush your hair at least? My hair? That's right, it looks rather tangled. You really were tossing and turning in your sleep. Not that I'm trying to imply your hair looks messy, of course. Nevi hesitates to reassure me. But it's so very pretty, I cannot bear to see it look anything other than perfect. Yeah, well, if it bothers you that much, dazed and confused though I am, Nevi's fussing brings a small smile to my lips. Being pampered like this isn't so bad every once in a while, I guess. Very well, you may brush my hair, I permit it. Oh, my lady, thank you. Nevi's eyes light up like fireworks. She looks so grateful, it's kind of adorable. Nevi finds a gilt back brush resting on my bedside table and sits behind me. And there's more cleavage! Yay! Boobies! Very slowly she begins to run the bristles of the brush through my hair. Though I can see Nevi's face, I'm sure she's concentrating hard. I can practically feel her narrowing eyes boring into the nape of my neck. Nevi's sitting so close to me that her breath makes my white, ghostly hair flutter. Nevi runs the brush through my hair over and over again, never once tugging at any knots. My maid seems to value my life more than her own, and if she pulled any of my fine hair, I'm afraid she might cut off her offending hand to apologize for the slight against my honor. Nevi's savage starvation is a little perplexing. I'm really not used to this kind of treatment, but at the same time, it's not too bad. The rhythmic motions of the brush as they tease out any offering knots feels oddly relaxing. My bare toes curl inwards on themselves. I could get used to this. So, how do you feel? Have you calmed down at all, my lady? I do feel a bit better, thanks to you. Oh, you don't need to thank me. Serving you is my job, after all. It's one I enjoy doing. Not everybody in the world is fortunate enough to do what they enjoy for a living. Well, don't I know it. My lady, I was wondering, if you still feel tired, I could make you a cup of cinnamon tea. That actually sounds pretty good right now. I could actually go for some cinnamon tea in reward. I should put some color back into your cheeks. I always look pale, Neville? Well, you have a point. I appreciate concern, but you've done more than enough for me already. A maid can never do more than enough, my lady. Especially not for a great woman such as yourself. You can do whatever you like with me as long as it makes you happy. Oh, the thoughts I'm having in my head! Never starts to come out the remaining knots in my hair. I'm not hurting you, am I, my lady? No, it feels good. I'm glad to hear it. Whenever Brush is focused on her work, she leans in even closer to me. Feels like I'm in heaven. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. I just want to enjoy this sensation forever. My dutiful maid hums a song under her breath as she works. Sounds like some folk ditty. I vaguely remember it. Is that the background music that plays in Abadog? Abadog is where the Darkling species live. Given Never as a Darkling herself, I guess it makes sense that she'd know that song. Maybe. I'm not sure. Feels like I've been transported into the MMO itself, but Nev's fingers are soft. Her breath is warm, and she doesn't feel like a lifeless NPC. She's a person. A real person. I'm sure of it. Say, Nevi. Yes, what is it, my lady? Where are we right now? Goodness, you are asking some curious questions this morning, my lady. I know, just humor me as my maid. Your job is to keep me happy, isn't it? Well, you're not wrong about that. If you must know, then, we're in the Nightmare Cathedral. This is your private dominion, and nobody's allowed in without an invitation. Many have tried to lay siege to your castle, but you defeated them each and every intruder wonderfully. Why, yes, I did, didn't I? You did. I watched on from afar and saw all your noble battles. And in this world, we are in Aspen, correct? That is indeed correct. I see. So this really is Aspen. I'm in Aspen, but it doesn't feel like Aspen online. The smells, the sights, the sensations. It's too much to be a mere simulation. Then, does that mean this world really is real? I haven't been transported into an MMO. The MMO has simply replaced my old reality, but it's all so new and fresh, it feels vastly more real than my old life did. Maybe if I was somebody other than myself, I might find this revelation disturbing. But if I'm never able to go back to the human world, what about my career, my friends, my family? But my career, though rewarding, is hardly as fun as being a dark witch. I'm too busy with my job to make many friends, and my family lives far away in Singapore. I haven't seen them since I moved to Tokyo 6 years ago. I don't think I'll miss them too much. I don't think I'll miss any of it, really. Not when I am really the great witch Viola, ain't I? That you are. You're the greatest dark witch, and anyone with half a brain in their head knows to fear and respect you, or they'll be grounded beneath your heel. I cast my mind back to the events of yesterday when I subjugated that foolish female knight. That was only in the game, of course, but now... Cord beneath my... Here it is. That's right, my lady. Nobody in Aspen is more powerful than you. A smug smile tugs at the corners of my lips. It grows and grows until... I start laughing. Oh, Nev, this is wonderful. Is it, my lady? Oh, yes, it's incredible. This is everything I've wished for. I'm Viola. I am the Dark Witch. I am undefeatable. And I'm finally going to start having some fun with my life. At the bush in my hair never addresses me. She clothes me in my signature dark gown, but I think I should wear something a little less oninous. If what Never said is true and I'm wearing in the field Dark Witch, I can hardly go exploring Aspen dressed in my typical attire. Everybody would recognize me in an instant and run for the hills. I don't know something that will make me blend in. Something that will make me look like a peasant. A commoner. Unfortunately, I don't own any gowns suitable for peasants. All my clothes are rather expensive and imposing. I spent a lot of money cleaning a wardrobe of rare, expensive pieces, and I was so vain I always wanted to show them off. Left with no alternative, I had to cast a spell on my fur black gown to make it look more like a peasant's dress. It should be more than a fitting disguise, provided the magic doesn't wear away, which it won't. Despite this, is child's play for me. The dress of me never pours me a cup of tea and serves me a light, simple breakfast. Fed, groomed, and clothed, I'm now ready to take a look around my new surroundings. I wonder what it would be like. Would this Aspen be the same as Aspen Online? Will I be able to see all the places I explored on my computer screen? Abaddon, Harmont Market, Roseberry Forest. I can't wait to find out. Hello! Oh. Are you ready, Nevi? I'm always ready to serve you, my lady. Obeying your orders brings me joy like nothing else. Good girl. I pat Nevi indulgently on the head. Nevi's short dark hair feels smooth beneath my palm. As I rub, she nuzzles her head against my fingers, then draws back, her pale face flushing. I apologize, my lady, for stepping out of line. It's not my place to seek more affection than you wish to give me. And I really shouldn't accompany you on your travels, either. It's my duty to guard your citadel when you're away, is it not? No, it's fine. As a cute girl, your place is by my side. You never know when I might need something. You mean you wish for me to accompany you on a trip, my lady? Of course. I never dreamed of leaving you alone in this large castle by yourself, though in the past, I did leave never to own devices in the castle while I went on adventures. I had no other choice. The Gamer Kings don't allow NPCs like never to leave my homestead. But it's different now. I'm not bound to the rules of any game. Nobody would bind the great black mage, Valhalla. You're pretty good, Nev. I want to show you off. Oh, you do have a way with words. But, my lady, did you not say you want to blend in with your surroundings and appear like a peasant? If you have a maid with you, it should be apparent to any observer that you're more than a mere commoner. Then change into something different. Ah, I did not think of that. Then I will get dressed this instant. Yes, you do that and hurry it up, won't you? I will. I want to explore as much of Aspen as possible. I wonder what it would be like. I hear deeply and stare at one of the arched windows. I look out over the tops of the trees and the winding rivers that shake through the forest. It's so different from Tokyo, with its high-rise buildings and tall gray skyscrapers. It's like I'm in a whole new world, which I suppose I am. I just need to make the most of it. Wow, this is amazing. I stand in the town plaza, look around, my hands on my hips. There's a fort fountain in the middle of the plaza, which bubbles with cool, clear water. I can see shops in the distance with painted exteriors in varying colors. There's a bloodstained market stall set up by the fountain, with little wooden tables arranged at intervals, which are piled up high with fruits, fabrics, and whatever. People wandered here and there, but I'm not sure if the people is the right word. Creatures might be more accurate. Some of these people have horns, some of them have cat ears, others have wings. Some of these people look like ordinary humans, while others have the heads of beasts. Some are so tiny they come up to my waist, others are large and hulking, at least 2 heads taller than I am. I can't believe it. It's really the Hawthorne Market. Indeed it is. Nevi stands a little closer to me. She gives me a quizzical look. Why do you look so excited, my lady? You've been to this market many times before. By the way, I like the fact they both have Cleveland shots. That's amazing right there. Alright, we're at 354 subscribers now. Alright, well, we're slowly moving up the ranking. I know, but I've been to this place more times than I can count in Aspen Online. But I've never seen it or heard it or smelled it in quite so much detail. I am no longer an onlooker staring at a 3D rendition of a fantasy world. I'm really inside that fantasy world. Now I'm an active participant. I can feel the wind running through my hair. I can hear the clinking of coins and the chatter of market goers. I can smell meat buns being baked in little brick ovens. I'm here. I'm really here, truly here, and I never realized quite how beautiful this place is before. Beautiful? Yes, the sky is bright, clear blue, and there's a warm, gentle breeze. It's a wonderful day, don't you think? I have no issue with the weather, but you've been acting rather curiously all day, my lady, ever since you woke up, in fact. If you want, I could buy some herbs and I could make you a drink to help restore your senses. Your senses are perfectly fine, Nevi. Are you sure? Quite sure. They never felt finer. It feels like I've been stumbling around in darkness for a long time. Didn't know what I wanted to do or where I wanted to go. Every day was the same. It was so monotonous. But now I found a brand new reason to live. I found a reason to be excited about life again. Ho 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 ho! Hey! Oh? I stumbled backwards a couple of steps and hold my shoulder with my hand. Did somebody just bump into me? It hurts way more than I thought it would. I might be one of the most feared witches in all of Aspen, but I guess I can still feel pain. I can still get hurt. I'm not invincible. And I'm especially vulnerable right now just in the gab of a peasant. Stupid woman, new to this region, I wager you standing around all wide-eyed like some kind of bloody tourist. Trying to be more careful next time, why don't you? Some of us have jobs to do. We don't appreciate Clint's like you getting in the way. Oh, I left my head slowly. I have to. The man talking to me is tall. Scratch that. He's really, really tall. I crank my neck up just to look into his eyes. His face is peculiar, like any human's face. Though he has a human body, the head resting on his neck is that of a cheetah's. His face is covered in orange and white fur. His eyes are similarly cat-like. They're bright green and lined with an impressive sweep of dark lashes. His muscles, biceps bulge like grapefruits. If he wanted to, this man could take me over his knee and snap me in 2 pieces. He's selling oil carpet in the crook of his arm. I guess he's on his way to sell it. but I don't have too much time to ponder. He's talking again. Well, what do you have to say? Aren't you going to apologize? What is it? Cat got your tongue, or are you too proud to take touch a half-breed like me? Well, let me get one thing straight, Missy. He's stepping towards me. He smells kind of musky. It's not a pleasant aroma, and my arm still hurts. Here in Hawthorne, we don't care much for airs and graces. If you make a mistake, you better fess up to it. I'm in a foul mood. You're not made it any better. And say you're sorry, and I might forgive you. Hey, Never steps forward. She's a little taller than I am, but compared to the giant cheetah, man, she looks like a tiny puplex. Despite the vast difference in size, however, she doesn't falter. She doesn't look scared at all. Now, how dare you talk to my mistress like that? Mistress, so you got yourself a maid, do you? The man glares at me. You think you're so much better than me, huh? So much for trying to keep it incognito. Thanks a lot, Nev. She's better than you, though your brain leaves much to be desired. My mistress is smarter than 15 of you and worth much, much, much more. You're asking her to apologize. Don't make me laugh. You're the one who should apologize for bumping into her like the brute that you are. Now get down on your knees and beg for mercy, huh? The large man flexes his muscles stunningly. And who's gonna make me exactly? You talk big, but you're just a pair of little girls. Why don't you run along to your mothers? We're starting to draw a crowd. People are stopping to point at us. I can hear them whispering, "Hey, that's old Blake. Is he picking a fight this early in the morning? He's always had such a terrible temper. And he's harassing 2 young girls as well. Just look at the poor dears. They'll never be able to defeat him. You think there's going to be a fight? I doubt it. It'd be much of a fight. Blake will knock them out in 2 seconds. Maybe one of the girls knows magic? No magic strong enough to defeat those muscles. I want to see them fight. Fight, fight, fight. Fight, fight, fight. Sigh. If you start chanting like that, this will get out of hand. But it's too late. It's already getting out of hand. How do we attract so much attention so quickly? I suppose this cheetah-head rogue, Blake was it? Must be something of a celebrity around here. How peculiar, though. Half-breeds are a common race in Espinal. I never heard of an NPC called Blake before. He is large, though. He looks very strong. I'm a little worried that Nev, for her bravado, won't be able to best him. Should I try and intervene before things take a turn for the worse? Let's see what she does. Please step down at once. Gets, contrary to cheering and clapping of the crowd, Nevi sounds incredibly calm, almost eerie so. Unless you know what is good for you. A wench like you lecturing me, that's a good one. I'll make you sorry, little girl. I was going to let you and your mistress go with a simple apology, but I'm not feeling so generous now. Blake deposits the world carpet on the cobblestone nostrils flare and his pupils do it. I can tell he's itching for a fight. I'm going to send what remains of you back to your mother in an urn. He unleashes his claws that protrude from his velveteen paws like knives. Say your prayers, I'm going to cut your pretty face up like a sprint festival pumpkin. He now pounces at Nev. Does he mean to knock her over? Nev! I turned to her, ready to help, a dark fiery spell already beginning to form in the palm of my hand, but... Ha! I pause. Ha 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 ha! I stop. Nev manages to jump away from Blake's claw at the very last second. She stands there utterly unscratched and unconcerned, her arms footed across her chest. She smirks. Her face darkens. All of a sudden, the temperature on the village score seems to drop by 5 degrees. Did you really think I'll let you lay a paw on me? You're a giant brute who relies on sheer strength. Well, you have strength, I'll grant you that. But there's no finesse to your motives. You have no technique. What do you mean, no technique? I've been training my body long before you were born, you brat. Don't act so high-minded just because you got lucky. Blake rears back on his heels. He springs forward yet again, but... How predictable. Nev sidesteps him. Nearly her skimpy skirt flutters around her legs as she moves. Again? How did you dodge that? It's quite simple. You communicate each of your movements far in advance by posture and your expressions. I thought, judging by your previous boast, you might have 1 or 2 tricks up your sleeve, but apparently not. Why you? You disappoint me. A man like you has no right to breathe the same air as my mistress, let alone look at her or touch her and ask for an apology. So goodbye. You can repent on your actions for as long as you want it when you're in your grave. Devil raises her right hand. Oh shit, she knows magic! Woohoo! And look at those badonkadonk! Hello! All of a sudden, a burst of dark energy. Is that magic? It is magic! She's a mage after all! Blake's body is engulfed by plumes of fire. He goes flying through the air, his silk boat crashing into a star selling fine head scarce, reducing it to splinters. The loud crash fire fills the air. Dust clouds form about the cobblestone roads. There's a pause, a long silence, and then... Wow, she sent old Blake flying. I never seen such a powerful darkling before. She sure packs a punch for such a small score, doesn't she? My store, somebody has to pay for my store. Pandemonium breaks out. Time to run away! After that little incident in the market square, Nev and I leave Hawthorne behind us. I wanted to be inconspicuous on my travels, but taking down a large man with a cheetah's head is anything but that. Trying to explore while being bombarded with questions and comments and curiosity stares wasn't very appealing, so I decided to leave. Never be my faithful maid followed at my heels. Now, half an hour later, the two of us found ourselves in the outskirts of a forest that's rather familiar to me. I was in this forest only yesterday. It's the same place where I fought that female knight who dared to attack me. It's Roseberry Forest. The air is cool, maybe because of all the trees. The leaves make a canopy sliding the top of my head from the sun. A few birds twitter in the branches of the trees, and specks chirp in the undergrowth. The grass about my feet sways gently in the breeze. It's pretty here and much, much quieter than the market. It's relaxing, but I have one or two questions I need to ask. So, Nev, I'm very glad you wanted to defend my honor, but did you need to antagonize that man so much? Whatever do you mean, my lady? I told you I wanted to try and blend in with the other villagers. I didn't want to stand out. It was unfortunate that the man picked a fight with us, but we could have settled our dispute in a peaceful manner. You mean you're actually going to apologize? Maybe if it would have kept him happy. But my lady, that's wrong. You shouldn't have apologized. He's a clumsy oaf who bumped into you. How dare he try and threaten you? He had no right. You're the great dark witch. He's nothing but a brute. People like that should know their place, and if they don't, they should be put into their place with force. I know that, Nev, but he was not aware about my true identity, and I didn't want him to find out about it. Or anybody else for that matter. Oh, my lady. I'm sorry if I made a scene. I simply couldn't help myself. When I heard that awful man trying to threaten you, it made me so mad. You should have been groveling at your feet and begging for forgiveness. If anything, I think I went too easy on him. Anybody who dares so much as a finger on you without your permission should have their hands cut off. Cut off? Isn't that a little extreme? You're quite passionate, aren't you? Of course I'm passionate. It's a mark of how much I care about you. As your maid, I would do anything with my abilities to serve you and keep you safe. That is what I swore when I took that scared oath to become your humble servant. Keeping you out of harm's way and protecting your good name is of the utmost importance to me. That's what gives my life meaning. And now she's getting even closer to me. Eva is so close to me, our nose is almost bumping. I can see her as in stark detail, they're large and glistening, almost consuming. If you ordered me to, I would drop dead for your sake. That's how much I care. Jeez! I knew this girl was devoted to me, but I didn't realize quite how devoted. Maybe I should have a word with her. You're being too intense, damn it! I'm glad you care about me so much, Ned, but don't you think you're taking this a bit too far? Too far? Of course not. Ned pouts her cheeks, puffing out like a hamster's. You saved my life, my lady. It's only fair that I should give you mine in return. Saved your life? That's right, don't you remember? Nev looks at me, hurt, her eyebrows frown. You met me in Abaddon. You saw that I was suffering. I was living in the slums, and had so many brothers and sisters I couldn't look after them. You're the one who offered me a job as your maid, and although it saved me from my miserable existence... No, that's not true. Nev shakes her head. You didn't just save me, you saved my whole family, too. With the money I earn from being your maid, I can support my family who still live in Abaddon. Your kindness keeps not only me fed and clothed, but my mother and father and all my siblings, too. I'll never rule the day that I met you, and I'll never stop being proud of being your maid. I want to serve you to the best of my abilities, even if that means defending your honor from brutes like that Blake. Ah, I see. Now I understand why Nev is so furiously loyal. It all makes sense. I had no idea I should such a strong emotional bond with Nev. In Aspen Online, I bought her like I would buy any piece of furniture. Gave her a cute name and customized her appearance a little. I never spoke to her, literally certainly never saved her. I guess things worked out a bit differently in this universe. I appreciate everything you've done for me, Nev, but sometimes you go a little too far. Too far? Nev's face falls. That trail that protrudes from her skirt gives a full-on twitch. Did I upset you? You didn't upset me exactly, but I wish you hadn't attacked that man. You could have caused him some serious harm. Good, he deserved it. Ugh. I sigh and run a hand through my hair. This girl just isn't getting it. No, it isn't good, Nev. It's not? Of course not. You can't just attack anybody who annoys you in a civilized society. This isn't the Dark Ages. Dark Ages? Nev looks at me perfectly baffled. It makes sense, I suppose. Maybe Aspinall never had a Dark Ages. It's a different word to the one I'm used to. Never mind. My point stands. I don't want you attacking anybody else like that ever again. Even if they're rude to you, even so. I'm not a little girl, Nev. I can look after myself. If you keep getting in the way and making life difficult for me, I may be forced to let you go. No. Nev's eyes wide and her lips tremble. You wouldn't do that, would you? Depends on your behavior. Do you think you can listen to me in the future? I get so heated whenever anybody says anything bad to you. It's a bad habit, I know, but if you feel that strongly about it, then she digs the tip of her shoe against the ground. I'll do my very best. As you mate, I don't want to cause you any problems. I really am sorry. And she bows her head deeply. I sigh. At least she seems to understand now. Still, what a mess. Suppose this means we can't go back to Hawthorne Market in a while. I really do apologize, my lady. Do you want to buy something? Not particularly. I just want to look around a little. Well, Roseberry Forest is a good place as any to explore. Shall we take a walk? Certainly we can, my lady. Though there isn't much here, just trees, I think. I happen to be fond of the foliage. You don't see all that many trees in Tokyo. Unless you go to one of the parks or shrines. Never had much a chance to enjoy nature. I was too busy going between home and work. Wandering around a forest will be a nice change of pace. At least I don't have to look at any gray buildings. I'm so sick of the color gray. I sigh softly. This forest is so peaceful. At least it was until... Wow! Waluigi #1! I jump in surprise. What was that? Never places her fingers beneath her chin as she ponders. Sounds like somebody's crying, my lady. Crying? Indeed, if I had to hazard a guess, I would say the crying belongs to a young woman, perhaps in her late teens or early 20s. My brow frowns. What's a young woman doing, crying, in the middle of the Roseberry Forest? Maybe she's being attacked by bandits. I hope she's being attacked by bandits. I haven't had a chance to use my magical powers yet. My fingers are just itching for the chance to unleash a dark flame spell on something. Plus, there's always a chance this girl could be cute. I'm always prepared to score points with cute girls. Say, Nev, why don't you and I intervene? This young lady may need our aid. Oh, my. Nev bows her head, a small, thin smile captures her lips. I, too, was thinking the same thing. There's nothing I would love more than teaching a couple of ruffians a good lesson. I gotta pause this real quick because I had to get something to drink. I'll be right back. I'm back. Got me some Mountain Dew Major Melon, which is the Mountain Dew watermelon flavor. Alright, let's go back. But when Nev and I make it to the source of the commotion... Wait. Where are the bandits? Unfortunately, it appears as though there were no bandits. We were a touch too hasty in our assumptions, my lady. That figures. And I was looking forward to using a dark flame spell, too. Oh, well, I suppose it's a good thing this young woman hasn't come to any real harm. But why then is she crying? And hello, ass. I'm an ass man. I love him. I love to kick him. Billy Gunn is giving out a thumbs up. Well, I can hear a young woman, but she's rather short with a sweet heart-shaped face and fair hair. She's probably a few years younger than I am. But I can't pinpoint her exact age. The girl is on her hands and knees. She's scrambling around in the dirt, pushing twigs and leaves to one side. All the while she's mumbling to herself under her breath. It's gotta be here somewhere. I know I dropped it somewhere around here, but where? Oh, this ain't good, no good. I don't remember. Remember the time. The longer her search continues, the more desperate she seems to get. Tears slowly trickle down her cheeks. They flush bright red. She's connecting so hard I don't think she's noticed Nev and me. Mother will be so mad if I don't find it, but woe is me, I have no idea where it could be. Oh, I'm so unlucky. Why do these things always happen to me? The distressed girl pauses, her fingers curl into fists, and then all of a sudden she punches the ground. Maybe she's trying to evade some of her anxiety, but... Ow! It doesn't work. The girl hisses in pain and draws her hand back. It looks like she accidentally hit the root of the tree. Her knuckles were already dirty, but now they're cut and bruised and starting to bleed. This sucks. I can't stand it. She holds her hand to her chest, rocks back and forth slowly. This is the worst day of my life by far. You must be a Detroit Lions fan. I never had it, find it, and I'll never be able to go home. Mother will have my head for sure. Wah. Ah, there it is. The despairing howl, that's what drew Nev and I to this girl in the first place. More tears fall from the girl's eyes. They land on the muddy ground with a sense of soft splashes. Nothing else, at least her distress is providing nutrients for the trees and plants. This girl looks like she's in quite the fix. Indeed it does. Do you think we should help her? We could, but she doesn't look like she has 2 pennies to rub together. I'm sure she's from a poor family. She has nothing to offer us, and we have no reason to help her. You don't seem opposed to the idea of helping her when there were possible bandits for us to attack. That's different. I'm always prepared to take down a ragtag group of hooligans. Nev cracks her knuckles together. The stuffing smile surfaces on her lips once more, but fortunately it soon vanishes. But there's no satisfaction to being gained from aiding a poor peasant girl like this. If I were you, my lady, I'd leave her and be on my way. If you give ruffians like this an inch, they'll take a mile, and the clothes off your back and the money in your pocket to boot. You might have a point, but... I look back at the young girl. She's sobbing in earnest like her heart might break. She's in trying to look for whatever it is she dropped. Maybe she's given up. I can't believe it. How could I be so clumsy? I'm useless. That's what Mother would say when I return home for sudden. You useless Phelan. Phelan, is that her name? It's a self-delicate kind of name. Despite her rough manner of speech, it suits her. Though her face is wet and her eyelashes are clumped together from crying, she's a very pretty girl. Maybe my guilty conscience starts pickling. I can't just leave her, not like this. That would be too cruel. I want to help her all the same. She looks like she could use a friend, and I doubt she'll find any companions around here. Well, you are my mistress. I can't tell you what to do, but please be careful. Even the most fragrant of roses can have thorns. Like you mean? Oh, no, nothing like me. I'm devoted to you entirely, my lady. I swear to the stars. This girl, however, I'd be careful of her. She may be more wily than she looks. I appreciate Nev's concern, but an unwashed little ruffian like this should pose no problems. I'm sure this girl would be so grateful for my help, she'll think I was sent to her by the gods themselves. Girls like this always seem to be suspicious sorts. When you have no money or possessions in the world, superstitions are all you have to believe in. Young girl, is your name perhaps Fiona? Oh? Fiona lifts her head. She looks at me, sniffing, wipes her eyes with the back of her arm. In the parts that she mentions, smell a streak of dirt across her cheek. It makes her look even more pathetic than she already does. Judiciously, I decide not to pass comment. Yes, my name is Fiona, and who are you? My name is Better not say my real name. Violet, and this is my companion, Nevi. The two of us were traveling through the Roseberry Forest when we happened to hear a commotion. Oh my... Was I really that loud? You were being quite loud, yes, but no worry. I've seen your tears and decided to help you. First, however, can you stand? Oh, yes, miss. This ain't nothing wrong with my body, but... Fiona gets to her feet. She wipes the dirt and glass from her thighs with her fingers. Of course, since her fingers are so dirty, she only succeeds in spewing the filth around. You see, kind miss, my mother gave me something to sell at the market. A right pretty trinket it was. What was it exactly? It was a ring, my mother's wedding ring to be precise, made of goblin roux silver. It's the most expensive item we own in the whole house, and Mother loved it so much, but... Oh, Fiona's expression confronts, she sniffles. Father died 3 summers ago, and although Mother's been working her fingers to the bone, bless her, she has so many children that there just ain't enough money to feed us all. It almost broke my poor mother's heart, but she told me to take her wedding ring and the only metal she has left of her father and sell it at the market. I told Mother not to and asked her if there was any other way, but she was firm, miss. She said it was the quickest way to get money. With money we can buy food, and then we won't starve. My baby brothers and sisters are looking awfully perky, and I'm so worried about them, but she trembles. In my clumsiness, I dropped the ring. Now I have nothing to sell at the market, and I had lost my mother's ring to boot. My poor mother. She entrusted that ring of hers to me, which she loved so dearly, and I've wasted her sacrifice. I ruined everything with my accused clumsiness. How long have you been looking for the ring? Oh, I don't remember, miss. It's been so long, for a few hours at least, but all I have to show for it is cuts and bruises. Maybe I'll never find it. Maybe it's too late. Telephone her to be more careful. Confront phone. We're going to tell her to be more careful. Oh dear. I tried and shake my head. It seems you have nobody to blame for this sorry state of affairs other than yourself. I know, miss. I know it ain't nobody's fault but mine, and I ain't trying to shift the blame. I am a stupid, useless girl. You might not be the brightest now, but I trust you've been punished enough for your foolishness. I just like seeing pretty girls cry. You're making a mess of your face. Seems like such a waste. And that's why my companion, I hope you found the ring. Isn't that right, Nev? Is that... If that's what you wish. Nev drops a neat curtsy, but expression is cool and that's if the ring even exists. Oh, that ain't she mean. And 30 minutes later, wow, thank you, kind miss. I can't believe you really found it. Fiona smiles happily. She holds the ring in the palm, on her palm and closes her fingers around it. But she's so overjoyed that she's practically beaming. If she were a dog, she'd probably be wagging her tail right about now. Come to think of it, with the dirt streak on her cheeks and the evident gratitude in her eyes, she'd make a pretty good pet. Training her shouldn't be too hard. Don't mention it, little puppy. I pat her on the head, assuming her already messy hair beneath my fingers. Fiona doesn't bat my fingers away. Instead, she bows her head and lets herself be coddled. She like the attention? Oh, miss, you're a peach, a real peach. It's rare to meet one as helpful as you. I was simply trying to do the right thing. Only a heartless brute would fail to show compassion for a lovely woman like yourself. The most people in Aspen must be heartless, miss. Sometimes I have wondered. A few travelers passed me by the woods already, but none of them stopped to help me. You're different, miss. I can sense in it from you. You must have a kind soul. Oh, my poor little puppy. If only she knew who I really was. If she realized I was the dreaded dark witch Viola, would she be afraid of me? I doubt she let me pat her on the head then. Now I can sell this ring at the market. Hopefully I'll fetch a tidy profit. I wonder. Nev, who's been silent up to this exact point, examines the ring in Farman's palm. You said this ring was made from a goblin hood silver, did you not? That's what I've heard, miss. How strange. Goblin hood silver doesn't go cloudy like that. The color's not quite right. Oh, got an eye for jewelry, have you, miss? I have an eye for forgeries. Are you sure you're telling us the truth? I'm always truthful, miss. My own mother told me that the ring was made by goblins. And why should I doubt her? If your mother truly believes that, she was probably tricked. The ring doesn't look expensive to me. It's a pure piece of costume jewelry, really. And it's godly, too. I doubt you'll fetch much for it. Never sighs and folds her arms. I couldn't believe I had to scramble around in the dirt for this. The ring is hardly worth it. Well, Fiona's cheeks turned pale pink, the thin layer of dirt. It may not be as fancy as the rings you're used to, miss, but it's worth it for me. I always thought this ring was made from goblin hue silver. If it ain't, then I've been duped. It might be worth as much as I thought, but it should fetch a pretty penny, enough to feed my family for a few more days at least. You said you're hurting for money. Horribly so, miss. I don't mean to sound so mopey, not after you helped me so, but times are hard. I have 5 brothers and sisters, with another little one on the way, and our father died so suddenly but 4 months ago. Even if we sell this ring, I'm not sure how I will survive. Then here. I reach into my pocket and draw out a few gold coins. It's nothing more than pocket change to me. I have 1,000 upon thousands of gold coins back in my castle. Handing a few pennies won't make a dent in my finances, but the little thief girl is staring at my palm in object wonder. That's 8 gold pieces there. What of it? That's more money than I've seen in one place in my whole life. If I'm 50, which I always am, there should be enough money to feed my family for a whole year. But I can't accept that much kindness, can I? Of course you can. That's why I'm offering you the money to you. Or do you think this is some kind of trick? Oh, miss, you've been so kind to me already. I couldn't... She's right. She can't, or at least she shouldn't. Nev. I turn to look at my maid, perplexed. Nev looks back at me, her eyes narrowed and her lips pursed. Why are you doing this, my lady? I'm just hoping to go in need. Is that such a terrible thing? I applaud you for your empathy, but we already hope to find her angel. We really need to offer her more aid. Little girl. Never rounds on the theft girl, her hands on her hips. You know, maybe you guys should come watch this, Ashley, in Dark Knight. Nerves on the theft ground, her hands on her hips. If you desperately need money like you say, you should seek alms at the church. Don't try and support and spare coins from my mistress. It's most unseemly. Oh, miss, I wasn't. I was trying to make her feel guilty. I wasn't trying to make her feel guilty. Ah. I'm on. I gotta let Ashley know I'm not. I'm on. Don't be cruel to the girl, Nev. I'm offering her this money of my own volition. But for what cause? She has nothing to pay you back with. Her cute smile is payment enough. Huh? Fawn's face flushes renderly. She presses her fingertips against her cheeks slyly. But I ain't... You do yourself a disservice. You're more adorable than you might think, despite the dirt and grim. And I happen to have a soft spot for cute girls. Nev sighs again. You can be surprisingly simple at times, my lady. I'm a simple woman with simple needs. Well... If you have your heart set on this act of petty charity, I can't stop you, but that doesn't mean I support you either. Aspen is full of the hungry and the poor. You can't help them all. It's foolish to try. In my humble opinion, it's better to look after your own wants and needs first. I don't need to look out for myself. I have you to do that for me, don't I? Well, now it's Nev's turn to blush. She turns her head away, her cheeks turning pink. I suppose so, yes. Now, to business. I look back at the theft girl. I can't stand the thought of your family going hungry, and I have more than enough money, so take it. I press the coins into the thief's hand. I can't make you accept this gift, of course. But it would be to your benefit if you did. Who knows what might happen to your family without it? Well, if there truly ain't no catch, no catch. Well, there is a catch. You get to see your nice cleavage boobs. That's the catch. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Booby boobs. Then, oh, miss, you're so kind. Oh, well, I wish I got a hug like that when helping women in stores and shit, but that ain't gonna happen. Fountain throws her arms around me in a tight, warm embrace. She's shorter than me. Still, despite being so tiny, she has a grip as strong as iron. I'm aware that her fingertips are still flinched with the grim, her nails stuffed with enough dirt to start her own ant farm, but I don't want to push her away. Not when she looks so cheerful. Miss, I'm so happy my poor heart could break. Why would your heart break from happiness? That sounds painful. I'm so overjoyed that this is a little painful, miss. My chest feels tight. I hope I don't cry. I don't want to cry, but Fiona sniffles. She rubs her head against my chest, burying her nose between my cleavlets. Lucky son of a bitch! It's a strange feeling, but it's not entirely unpleasant. Hey, I hope you're not planning to wipe your filthy nose on my estimated mistress. That ain't my intention, miss. Good, if it was, I'd have to flambe you. I'm glad Nev cares about me so much, but sometimes she can take it a little bit too far. Nev, if you burn this kid girl to a crisp, I'll be very, very angry with you. Yes, my lady, I understand. Good. Oh, miss, sweet miss. I'm sorry I haven't cried in years. You learn how to get strong, you do, when you have too many mouths to feed and you're always starving. I scrambled around in the dirt in midwinter to find scraps to feed my family, or stolen food from wild dogs, and I didn't even cry then. But this is something else. It's like a miracle. I don't have much faith in the gods, but you're making me reconsider. You must have been sent from heaven above. Oh, you flatter me. I don't come from heaven. There's nothing angelical about me. You seem angelical enough in my eyes. Don't link me to sentient beings, please. It's ill-fitting. If you must call me anything, you should call me mistress instead. Then I will. Thank you, mistress. Fiona nuzzles her cheek against my chest. I rest my hand on the top of her head and run my fingers through her flyaway hair. Good puppy. I see she can be obedient. That's nice. She might really make a good pet. I wanted to have a cute little girl like this at my beck and call for a long while now, and Nev being my maid doesn't really count. Yes. This is my true ambition. Would she join me at my castle if I asked? Is it worth a shot, I guess? Say, if you're... Just as I'm ready to make a proposal, Fiona breaks the embrace. She takes a few steps backwards, her face shining with happiness. Thank you so kindly, mistress. She bows to me. And you, miss? She bows to Nev. Now I don't need to sell my mother's precious ring. I can return home and tell my family the good news. Goodbye, and I'm so glad that I met the pair of you. Fiona turns and darts away through the undergrowth. Her hair flutters behind her as she runs. She moves quickly, fast and flat-footed like a rabbit. She must know her way around this forest well. Despite being so small, she seems rather self-assured and dependable. But if that's the case, something isn't right about that girl. Why do you say that, Neb? I don't think she was entirely being honest with us. I don't buy that story about her selling the ring. The ring was cheap, non-specific, no self-respecting merchant would pay more than 1 bronze coin for it. She must have known that. She said her mother told her it was Goblin Room, and anybody with a modicum of intelligence would know it to be a lie. Mark the way she runs, too. If she's fast and knows the lay of the land, she doesn't have a clumsy, awkward step. But if she isn't clumsy and she's familiar with this forest, how could she have tripped and dropped the ring? Do you think she was lying to me? I'm almost positive, my lady. It's not an uncommon trick. Thieves will pretend to have dropped something and ask for assistance, while you help them search to pick your pocket and run away. But you were watching her, Nev. She didn't do anything like that, did she? Not that I saw, but thieves can be awfully sly. Think you're being too paranoid. Oh, no, my lady. I know from my rough upbringing in Amadon that one thing can never be too paranoid. Not if they want to keep hold of what few coins they possess. I gave my coins to her willingly. I suppose you did. Even she was trying to steal from me. There wasn't anything left in my pocket worth stealing. Nothing other than... I set my fingers in my pocket searching. Where's that necklace? The Necronomicon ruby necklace, only 1 or 2, which allows the wearer to control the dead at will. It's a priceless object I can't stand to be imported from, so I'm always bring it with me at all costs. Thought it was in my right pocket, but it's empty. I can't feel the necklace, just lint. Ah, what is it, my lady? Did you lose something? I'm not sure. There's no sense jumping to conclusions just yet. My right pocket's empty, but what about the left? I searched there, my fingertips brushing against the fabric, but there's nothing there. It's empty. It's gone. That bitch! Nev, who didn't expect my outburst, jumps. What? That little charlatan, she was no obedient puppy at all. She has nothing but a cunning jackal. Oh, Nev, she stole my Necronomicon ruby necklace. Your necklace? But Miley, that can bring the dead back to life. I know. If anybody other than a skilled mage were to get their hands on it, then all of a sudden the still air is split by a loud alarm scream. I know that scream. I recognize the voice. It's that little thief girl. I see she's swiftly meeting her. Come on, let's go. I narrow my eyes. We have a little mouse to catch. Yeah, bitch. Welcome to hell, but nice boob shot, by the way. What's going on? Somebody! Anybody! Help! Fiona's been backed into a corner. She's pressed up against a tree, and soldiers surround her on all sides. Some of the skeletons are holding weapons. A transited sword, a cracked spear there. A handful are wearing metal helmets. Others have shields. The ground beneath my feet looks like it's been tilted by a pull-off. Loose clouds of dirt pepper the ground. Blue scream of death real quick. Alright, no one's made the party yet. The skeletons are led by the Necronomicon's ruby necklace. Must have been awoken from the slumber beneath the earth. I wonder how these skeletons ended up in Roseberry Forest. Maybe there was a war here, some kind of battle? That would explain the weapons the dead soldiers are clutching in the bony fingers. How must these old piles of bones be? They must be holding quite a grudge for them to spring back to. Well, not life, but half-life, so idiot. Goodness, this is such a mess. Nev sighs and presses her fingers against her forehead. This is what happens when little girls with no understanding of magic steal things that don't belong to them. Nev's right. A talented mage like myself would be able to carry the Nekomon's ruby necklace through a graveyard and not wake a single sleeping corpse. Mages like myself are aware of our own power, and as such, we know how to control it. Girls like Fiona, however, do not. I doubt Fiona even knew the item she stole was in necromancy. She probably saw the gemstone, thought it was pretty, and swiped it. When were we embracing? Probably. It would have been so easy for her to slip a hand in my pocket, unseen and unnoticed, take my precious necklace. Well, now she's paying the price. This is creepy. Get away from me. The skeleton shoulders, of course, don't listen to her. Fiona might be the owner of the Necromancon's ruby necklace, but they must know on an instruction level she isn't their mistress. She can't control or command them. She's far too afraid of what she's unwillingly summoned to have any kind of authority. This shouldn't be happening. It's like a nightmare. Please! Fiona holds her hands to her head and ducks down. Her eyes are filled with tears. Please, somebody! Help me! Well, what do you want to do, my lady? Nev looks at me with her eyes are dark and uninterested. Should we let the skeletons tear her apart? Might be a good lesson for her. A cruel smile captures the corners of Nev's lips. If she survives, of course, which is unlikely. The newly woken dead are not known for good manners or their ways of handling women. I look at Fawn pinned against the tree. The skeletons are advancing even closer. Fawn tremors, her face, though tan, now looks pasty white. I knew she did wrong with me, but I can't help but feel sorry for her. Sorry for her. But my lady, she stole your necklace. Don't you want to see her suffer? I think the little brat is getting what she deserves, and nobody who crosses should stop. I want to hear her scream more. I want her to cry much, much more. God damn, Nev seems like somebody who would like to use handcuffs and whips on somebody. I appreciate your dedication to serving me and keeping me safe, Nev. Though with watching you, gonna get more to really help me. But I don't want her to die. No, not die then. That might be taking things a bit too far. But it's alright if she gets injured, isn't it? Why don't we let the skeletons break a couple of her bones or take out an eye? Maybe they can throw out a kidney. That would kill the bitch! Damn, Nev, you're fucking hardcore! She has two of them. She doesn't need both. Well, you got a point there. That'll teach a thieving dog a lesson. Remind me not to piss Finn off. Nev, I rest a restraining hand on my companion's shoulders. I think you're misunderstanding one critical thing here. Oh, and what is that, my lady? I might be the third Dark Witch, but I am not a murderer. I won't allow a young girl to be slaughtered in front of me. And I certainly won't let her kidneys be harvested either. It just isn't right. And it would be a shame too, despite her fast fingers, it's very cute. I don't want her pretty face to get damaged. But my lady, what about her punishment? I will punish her as I see fit. Naturally, I haven't forgiven her for playing such a rotten trick on me. Or for taking advantage of my kindness, but... Please, somebody! The skeletons are advancing even closer. One of them holds a sword aloft, the point inches away from Fona's head. All of a sudden, the sword swings down fast. Hi! Fona screeches like a scared cat and ducks beneath the blade of the sword. The steel shaft hits the tree where her head once was and gets stuck in the trunk. The tree shakes a few leaves loose, fall through the air. Some of these leaves land in Fona's hair. She been a few seconds slower, her head would have been sliced clean in two. Please, somebody! Anybody! If she wants my help, I'll be more than happy to give it, but I had to punish her afterwards, of course. There would be no meaning to a punishment if these skeletons carried out. They're nothing more than rough, thoughtless, faceless mobs that exist to kill. Only a great and fearsome witch like myself can scully go naughty girls in the manner they'll deserve. Oh, my lady! Nev bows her head. I never thought of it that, but you're right. If anybody is to punish her, you should. In fact, these skeletons have no right to lay their hands on that naughty girl before you can. It's almost impudent of them. Nev raises the palm of her right hand, her eyes hard and her jaw tenses. She looked just the same as she did in the marketplace, before she assaulted Blake with a fury of burning flames. Should I take care of the skeletons for you, my lady? I'll barbecue those old bones until they turn into chocolate. Just give me the word and I'll do it. I appreciate it, but I believe I can take care of this myself. I'm not called the Dark Witch for nothing, after all. I take a step forwards, I raise my right hand and declare loudly, Oh, you fallen warriors, heed my words. The skeletons pause. They look at me with their empty, sightless eye sockets. Huh? Fiona lifts her head. Her eyes are wide and wild. It's you, the kind lady. Kind lady? I raise an eyebrow. I believe I told you to call me mistress. Oh, yes, I'm sorry, mistress. You will be. You might think I'm kind now, but just you wait and see. I'll show you how cruel I can truly be. I draw my tongue against my lower lip. Fiona shivers. I don't know what you mean. So you dare play dumb even after you stole what was rightfully mine from under my very nose? I did no such thing. Don't act like a little fool. I know these things. Those skeletons don't spot up from nowhere. I don't know where they came from. I was just running through the forest on my way back home when all of a sudden... Silence! I shot a fearsome glare at Fiona that could terrify a dragon. As expected, she soon shuts up. They always do. Now, I turn back to the Horde of Undeads. As I'm sure you're already aware, my name is Viola, and I am the Great Dark Witch. The Dark Witch? No way! I shoot another icy look at Fiona, and she soon silences herself, but her trembling doesn't stop. She's shaking so hard her teeth are clanking together. I wouldn't be surprised if her bones are rattling. I see you have awakened from your slumber because this insolent pup took my necromancer ruby necklace from me. I gave that you would rise from your graves at such short notice to serve me, the great Viola, and I understand that you must be disappointed upon waking to find not your mistress, but this dirty little thief with sticky fingers. If you wish to punish her for ignorance, I understand, but I must commend you to step aside. That girl has wronged me. As such, I am the one who will merit out her punishment. Nobody is allowed to lay as much as a hand on her, and if you do, I will make you suffer. I know magic that can turn bones into dust. I'll grind you down. I'll feed you to my pet hellhound in the Nightmare Cathedral. I'll hurt you so bad you'll remember what dying feels like all over again. Do I make myself quite plain? Scoundrels look between one and the empty eye sockets that hang in their scars, their shoulder bones slump. Good. I all but pull the wood. Now go back to where you came from. As the great dark witch Viola, I command you. That seems to do the trick. The assembled skeletons now bow to me deeply in reverence as they thought, before they sink off back to their graves. They lay down in the uncovered holes of the dirt they had burst from and uncover themselves in dirt. That's the amount of respect I command amongst the undead. They're so afraid of me I can even order them to seal themselves away in the dark and the dirt and the worms once more. My powers are nothing to be sneezed at. Within 5 minutes, all traces of the skeleton army are gone. The shoulders have been put to rest once more, and I didn't even need to use any magic at all. Ash could have used her in the evil and army of darkness. I'm just saying. The forest became peaceful once more. The sound of bird song returns to the trees, and a soft, gentle breeze plays up my hair. It's a rather pleasant day, all things considered. The sun is shining. Fiona, however, looks anything but at peace. She stares at me with wild, fringed eyes, her pupils dilate, her hair is messy, and her face is horribly pale. You're... Yes, what is it, dear? You're the Dark Witch Viola? Indeed I am. I offer her a small curtsy. If that little performance was enough proof of you, I can always do this. With a click of my fingers, I revert the magic I was using to disguise my normal clothes. Hello! Again, can a female show up to my house dressed like that? My casual attire melts away to reveal my long dark decorated with feathers. Fiona's eyes punching a bunch out of her head at this magic show. I can't believe it. No way. Well, you had better start believing in it. I am very pleased to make your acquaintance. You disgusting swine little bitch. Now I think you have something that belongs to me in your pocket. Would you care to give it back? Of course, if you're feeling brave, you can always refuse. But then I'd have to pull your spinal column out of your body through your mouth. That's a Sub-Zero move right there. Maybe my teasing was a little bit too much for Fiona. The skeletons must have been finding enough for her, the poor thing, without encountering the fearsome Dark Witch on top of that. So she faints. Her eyes roll back into her head and her body slumps against the dirt ground as she lumps as a ragdoll. Oh dear. Oh dear indeed. Never approaches Fiona. She uses a branch from the ground and pokes Fiona's side. Fiona doesn't move. I think he scared her half to death. Oh, only half? I raise an eyebrow. Then she'll be fine. She had better be fine at least. I haven't even begun to punish her properly yet. Take a mud bath, and I think she's not wearing any clothes. Again, I'm okay with this picture. We're just gonna look at it for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, what's going on? Why are you doing this to me? Oh, isn't it obvious? No, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I glanced down at Fiona. After she fell unconscious, Nev carried her princess dive to the brink of a small river that flows through the forest. Riverbanks are always thick with mud and silt, and this particular river is no exception. I thought it would be the perfect place to start my little re-education program. I looked Fiona none too kindly with a splash of cold water to her face. Then, when she was still squatting and confused, I ordered her to sit in the dirt on her hands and knees. She tried to protest a little at first, but then I reminded her of who I was. She soon fell silent. Her face pale, obviously afraid of her further rebutals. Fiona with dome stunk down to the ground in the mud. That's when I decided to install stage 2 of my plan. I call it the human chair. I'm pressing the full weight of my behind down on Nev's back. Her spine dips inwards to accommodate my weight, which in turn pushes her palms and knees firmly against the mud. Fiona whimpers. This is weird. Oh? I press down a little more firmly against her back. The mud between Fiona's fingers squishes in a satisfying way. This little thief girl was dirty before. She's positively filthy now. Just thinking about it makes me feel content. It's a strange kind of happiness. I feel like I'm a cup that's been completely filled to the brim with sweet, sparkling wine. Are you not enjoying this? Of course I ain't enjoying it. Who would? I think you should consider it a privilege, having the great Dark Witch Viola use you as a chair. Aren't you glad you can be useful to me? Who'd be glad about something like this? Fiona squirms beneath me. Her face is red and her eyes are narrowed from caution. It looks like she's using her legs to not collapse beneath my weight. You're heavy. Now look here. Nev takes a step forward, her eyes narrowing spark to crack at her fingertips. How dare you insult my lady's weight after everything she's done for you? You should count yourself lucky she hasn't turned into a pile of cinders. You're getting off remarkably easy despite the gravity of your crimes, so don't you dare make fun of my lady. She's worth 10 of you. She's heavier than 10 of me, too. Why, you... Nev? I hope... one hand stand. Stop. Appreciate Nev's fierce loyalty, but I don't want her to burn this little thief girl like she did with Blake at the market. Please, let me handle this. But she's insulting you, and that's why it'll be all the more fun to break her down. I like to go with a little bit of fire in her. It makes things more entertaining. I press my weight down even more firmly against Fiona's back. She gasps in pain. The palms of Fiona's hands and the tips of her fingers are driven deeper and deeper into the dirt like tent pegs. Fiona's whole body is splashed with mud now. It sticks to her chest, her arms, and her stomach. Aren't you starting to feel good, Fiona? Don't you feel honored to have me use you as my own personal chair? Cool woman like you should be baked alive in the underworld. How dare you, Nev? Hold up a hand once more. She's acting like the Miz. Nev's a lot more fiery than she looks, particularly when I'm a subject of a conversation. I need to keep a close eye on that. I like your attitude, little theft girl. It's too bad you won't be able to argue against me in that pretty mouth of yours much longer. What do you mean? Isn't it obvious? I'm going to break you down. I'm going to grind you into dust until you realize how lonely and pathetic you are compared to me. Right now, you're nothing more than a piece of furniture. Do you understand? You're such a bitch. That's right. And you're a chair. I hate you. After I saved your life? I raise an eyebrow, like the Rock. You've been torn to pieces if it weren't for me. Well, maybe you have a point. Then why don't you try showing a little humility, But that's... It's embarrassing. Oh, her flushed face. Fleckered with dirt really is charming. I wonder if I can make her blush even more. You're embarrassed now, are you? Why don't we see just how much more I can embarrass you, my cute little theft girl? I'm going to grind her down. I'll make her mine no matter what. No method is too dirty. No trick is too underhanded. In the end, I always get what I want. Where exactly are we going? It's a fair question, I suppose. After using Fiona as my own personal chair, I asked Nev to wash the dirt and mud from her with a bit of magic. Then I asked, more like force, when to walk through the forest with me, flanked by Nev. Furthermore, I once more showered my witch's robe and consume spell. I don't want to run the risk of running into anybody and giving them a scare. Fiona's eyes keep darting here and there like a corned rabbit, but I make it quite plain to her that if she should try to run away, she will be swiftly punished with one of Nev's fire spells. Down Loony and disobedient, I think my theft girl has learnt what will happen if she tries to run. She might be obeying me in body, but her eyes still seek to defy my orders. I'll change that soon. We just need to go deeper into the forest. You'll find it soon enough, my cute little puppy. Don't call me a pup, it's not like I'm your dog. It seems she has some bite to her, my lady. I can tell, but don't worry, Nev. I'll soon train all the disobedience out of her. You know, I can still hear you. Don't talk about me like I'm not here. Oh? Nev narrows her eyes. Are you trying to tell my mistress what she can and can't do? Nev's body crackles with an invisible energy, her eyes glowing ominously. My mistress is the Fair Dark Witch. Everybody in Aspen knows her name. Nobody fears her. If you answer back once more, I'll punish you. I'll punish you so long and so hard that there won't even be a speck of you left. Fiona takes a few steps away from Nev. She clings to my arm. And I thought being with the Dark Witch was bad enough. I think your maid is even scarier than you are. Nev was just overprotective. Don't mind her too much. How can I not mind when she's glaring at me like that? She's creepy. What did you say? Don't worry about her too much. She won't punish you. Now unless I give the signal. Which I won't. I'm going to give you a different punishment instead. Oh well, it ain't that swell. That makes me feel so much better. It should. This punishment might be more stimulating than you are imagining. I pause. The Fevers reach a small clearing at the heart of the forest. There in the center of the clearing is a very large, very tall tree, with a lot of hanging vines and old, weathered branches. We finally arrived. Fanny stares at the tree that towers before us. Her eyes wide and her mouth falls back. Oh no. She looks back at me. Why did you bring me here? Why not? It's all part of your re-education program. But this tree, everybody knows about this tree. If you get too close, it will come to life. It catches people in its vines and then... Yes, what does it do? Fiona's face burns with bright red. Horrible things, unspeakable things. Must be the tree from the original Evil Dead film. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know why I'm saying that. I've heard the stories, I'm sure you have too. The tree was, funnily enough, one of my most formidable enemies in Aspen Online. This tree, known as the sentient Skirkamore, is a far higher level than the other monsters in the forest. Its abilities allow it to pick up characters and immobilize them. Caught in the tree's vines and branches, all players' skills become locked, and unless they have the team members to free them, all they can is squirm as the tree depletes their health. If these three can make Fiona mind her manners, then I'll consider it an asset. Let's go. Go? But what just got here? I don't like the vibe of this place. It's scary. You're not supposed to like it. It's meant to be punishment. I think I'd rather go back to the river if it's all the same to you, miss. You can sit on me as much as you want. Just don't make me go near that tree. I don't want anything to do with it. The poor girl looks so anxious, so she noticeably trembling. Maybe the mere threat of being harassed by the sentient tree is enough to put her in her place. Do I really need to go through with this? I could always take pity on her just this once. Bitch, you're gonna meet the tree and you're gonna fucking like it. Of course I have to go through with this. I'm the great Dark Witch Viola. I can't let myself be overcome by a moment of pity. Sarah's gonna punish us, and I will. Might be a dirty way to get the job done, but as long as the job gets done, who am I to complain? Oh, stop your whining. I am an honest woman and I won't go back on my word. But about the tree, if you give me up to that tree, it'll kill me. Don't be silly, it won't kill you. I'll just play with it. Will just play with you a little. If it goes too far, I'll tag it and make it let go of you. I promise. You're promising me, but you're the Dark Witch. I don't know if your promises are worth all that much. I might be a Dark Witch, but like I said, I'm honest. Now forward you go. Huh? What? I push Fiona towards the tree. She stumbles. She hits the ground with a dull thud. She holds one hand to her behind and rubs it. Ow, that hurts. And then she pauses. She blinks. Oh no. Her shuddy panic scream has awoken the sentient, burrows down upon her, and oars its vines. And then, it scoops up Fiona into the air and tightens its hold around her waist. After I took the time and effort to re-educate my precious little theft girl, I took her back with me to the Nightmare Citadel. I want to call it kidnapping per se. I just didn't have a choice. I couldn't let Fiona go once she uncovered my true identity. She might blow my cover the next time I went out in disguise, which would not be to my advantage. I didn't first worry about our poor starving family, which she claimed she had to support, But after Nev investigated the girl's claims, humanly of course, if you want to such a definition of the word humane, we discovered that her story about her family was just that, a story. Deaf girl has no mother. She doesn't have 4 hungry siblings waiting for her back at home. She made everything up to kindly passing strangers out of their coins. She does have a sister as it transpires, but she lives in an entirely different town. The two haven't seen one another in a while. The poor little theft girl has no friends, no connections, no family. At Chester, no promise taking her back to my home. Unless you consider the ethical concerns, which I don't bother worrying about. Now, after having a backwash off all the dirt and shame, the theft girl is lying in bed. In my bed, I might add. Her eyes are closed and she's sleeping. Her hair fans about her head across the pillow. She looks peaceful like this, vulnerable. She's cute. Cute enough for me to forget all the pain she put me through. I really am weak against adorable girls. And again, hello! Looks like we got a Facebook message. Let's check this. Let's see, was a party made? Let's check. No. Are you sure this is all right, my lady? What do you mean? I'm referring to bringing this girl to your citadel. I don't particularly want to babysit this obnoxious brat, and I doubt you do either. Well, I don't mind the sitting part. I'll be more than happy to do that if you'd rather... if it would further re-educate her. I giggle under my breath. Nev still looks unconvinced. She finds her arms crossed beneath her chest. I don't know. I know that you enjoy playing with new toys, my lady, and I can't fault you for it, but this would probably be a lot simpler if you killed her. Oh, Nev, I'm shocked at you, my lady. I'm not a brute or psychopath. I don't commit murder, especially not for fun or on a whim. I only unleash my magic on those who threaten me, and even then, I try to settle things diplomatically first. You should know that. Yes, I know. Nev hangs her head, so big crowd, her cheeks flush. I'm sorry, my lady, for insisting. I don't know what we're supposed to do with this pest. Who knows where she's been? She's probably riddled with fleas. Then it's a good thing we gave her a bath, isn't it? And I don't like her sharing your bed either. It just isn't right. You're the owner of this citadel. Your body is a sacred chamber. None, save yourself and your most treasured servant, should be allowed to enter this room. Oh? I raise an eyebrow. I can't stop myself from smirking. Are you jealous, Nev? I'm not jealous. Nev presses her fingertips together and looks down at the floor. Though she doesn't admit it, she's jealous. She's totally jealous. How cute. I'm so lucky that I have a maid who's so devoted to me. I just don't think it's proper, that's all. You don't much care about poverty when you attacked that poor half-breed at the marketplace. He deserved it. He insulted you. And this thief girl deserves much, much worse than the so-called punishment you gave her. She stole from you. I can't forgive her. I won't forgive her. You don't need to forgive her, Nev. This little theft is my guess, not yours. Suppose you're right. You can make your own decisions, of course you can, my lady. In the end, I'm nothing more than a maid. Now don't look so downhearted. Huh? I take a step closer to Nev. I tilt her head up with my thumb and press a quick, fleeting kiss against her lips. You're much, much more than a maid to me. You should already know that. My lady. Nev's legs tremble despite her intense magical power. She looks like she might have collapsed at any moment. I brought this Sifko back here as a little experiment, you might say. Experiment? I want to see how well she integrates to living with me. Though she claims to hate me, living in the Nightmare Center must be far superior to living on the streets, begging for scraps of food and coins from passing strangers. I'll see to it that she has everything she could ever need. I'll keep her warm and I'll keep her safe. And then what, my lady? Who knows, maybe within time she'll become as devoted to me as you are. I doubt that, my lady. Nobody could be as devoted to you as I am. Probably not, but she could be a useful ally in the future. But you're the great Dark Witch. You don't need allies. I don't need them. It's true, but even I get lonely from time to time. My lady. Nev looks into my eyes. Her own are wide, fingered with very long lashes. Ain't I enough for you? You're enough, Nev, and you keep my coming like nobody else. But this morning was hit by an epiphany. I want to try to make the most of my life. My new life here in Aspen. I want to see as many new sights as I can. Meet a lot of interesting people. Nev's lower lip trembles. Am I not cute enough for you? When Nev looks at me winsomely like this, her eyes large and imploring, she certainly does look cute. What can I tell her? You're cute, but... Or I could go with, you're the cutest girl I know now, but we're going to go with you're cute. You're lovely now, but when I think about the other equally lovely girls I could have on my beck and call, I can't help but get excited. Nobody would stop the fearsome dark witch Viola. Picking up that little theft girl who, even now, is snuffling in her sleep and turning over my bed is only the beginning. I'm finally fulfill all the wild and possible dreams I nursed back in the human world. Then maybe I'll be able to be happy. I'm going to grab the life I always desired with my own two hands. If anybody can make it happen, I can. I won't let anyone or anything get in my way. A few days pass and Fiona seems to be getting used to her new life here. Why is there so much cuddly? Though she is a little perturbed at first to be leaving such a large cache, I think she's made the transition between her old life and new life very well. I thought this was supposed to be poisonous. Finn sits at the long dinner table in the middle of the dining hall, staring at her dinner curiously. Ain't this a lot of food? Seems like such a waste. Well, maybe she hasn't completed by her new turn, but she's doing her best. Fiona picks up a leg of mutton with her finger. She brings it to her lips, ready to take a bite when... Excuse me, Miss Fiona. Never perches at Fiona's side, her eyes wide, narrowed on her lips. You're not supposed to eat with your hands. Huh? Then how am I supposed to put food in my mouth? So many things I could say to that. That's what all these forks are for. You do know what a fork is, don't you? Of course I know what a fork is. I might not be the smartest girl in the world, but I ain't an idiot. Well, you are blonde, so... Then you should know, I hope, that forks are typically used to eat one's food, not one's fingers. Yeah, I got that, but there's so many of them. Tony looks at the array of forks around her plate dubiously. I don't know which one to pick. So you thought it would be better to pick your food up with your bare fingers like an animal? Say that again. Gladly. I asked, do you think it would be better to... Nev, please. Hold one hand up, singing in silence. Of course, being the lady of the cast, I sat at the very head of the table. My chair is the fanciest one of all. It's lined with plush red cushions, and the legs and arms are made of the most expensive, whatever that word is. And you too, Fiona. Don't eat like a commoner in my peasants. I got news for you, Lady Viola. Vaughn says my name was no such amount of combat. She really is a feisty girl. I was living on the streets up until a few days ago. You was the one who decided to take me in, and if you don't like me, you can always throw me back out onto the streets. I don't care. Now, why would I do such a foolish thing like that? What? I believe I explained this to you already, Fiona, multiple times. In fact, I enjoy having you around. You're very cute, and it seems a shame to let you wander the streets dirty and tired and hungry. A girl's true charms can only be discovered after she's had a decent night's sleep and there's a bit of food inside her. So that's how you're taking care of me, huh? Because you think I'm pretty? I wouldn't go through all this effort if I thought you were hideously unattractive. You're so sallow. I simply have a healthy appetite for attractive girls. You should count yourself lucky, Miss Fiona. If my lady had not taken such an incredible shine to you, you would not be sitting at this table right now. I don't want to sit at this table. This food is too rich and there are too many forks. All this talk about men is making my head hurt. Would you rather live on the streets and sleep in the dirt? At least I wouldn't need to know the difference between a salad and a fish fork then. Oh my, you look so grumpy. Is my hospitality that unpleasant? I thought this food would be to your liking. But if you're unhappy with the meal my servants have prepared, I can always give you a simple dinner of bread and gruel instead. I never said the food itself was bad, you know. That's what I thought. I smile smugly. Fiona might dislike all the rules and integrate that come with meals like this, but she doesn't dislike the food itself. She's a small, skinny thing. It's probably because she's been living hand to mouth for so many years, staying alive by scrying whatever scraps she can. Though she won't admit it. She's so adorably stubborn. The meals I've been giving her must be some of the best she's tasted in her life. She was thin as a rail when I first found her, scrambling in the dirt for her mother's supposedly precious ring. Now she's put on a bit of weight, and her cheeks have a nice, healthy glow to them. Her hair looks softer too. I shampoo it myself every night, and comb out all the knots. She's becoming a precious little gem, and I don't want to let her go. I still need to polish her a bit more so I can really make her sparkle. Now, if eating with me is truly such a chore, perhaps I can help educate you. What do you mean? Fiona gives me an uneasy look. Her eyes are narrowed. No offense, Lady Viola. She says my name with undescribed in a manner that suggests there's quite a bit of offense But if what you did to me the other day is any indication, I don't think you'll make a great teacher. How cruel! I'm doing this to help you, you know. I'm not so sure. I bet you're just doing this for your own amusement. That's the only reason you ever do anything, ain't it? Well, you got me there. You really are awful. I know, but you certainly seem to be benefiting from it. Benefiting? Fiona raises an eyebrow. Don't make me laugh. I ain't benefiting from this. But my maid has prepared you a delicious feast. And you can sleep in a comfy bed instead of a street corner. How is that not an improvement over your old life? Sure, it might look like an improvement, but at what cost? My freedom. You're keeping me here as a prisoner, so you can do all kinds of horrible things to me. I just know it. Now, why would I do anything horrible to you? Why wouldn't you? You're the evil dark witch, Fiona snouts. I don't mean to be rude or anything, my lady, but you don't have a great track record at being nice so far. I did save you from those skeletons, remember? Oh, yeah, you did, so you could watch me scream and squirm and beg afterwards. You didn't save me because you were worried about me. You did it because you wanted to punish me yourself. You said as much. Well, after you threw me at that tree, I'd rather have been torn by those skeletons. Fiona's cheeks are burning with red. She coils her hands over the fish, bangs the top of the table, making the plates of food rattle. I ain't gonna sit here a moment longer and pretend to play nice with you. I'm sick of you. And I'm sick of your fine food. I wouldn't stay here a second longer if you let me leave, but you won't. I ain't a guest here. I'm a prisoner, and I ain't ever gonna be your friend. I'm never gonna forgive you for what you did to me. Well, you did it to yourself, bitch. I really can't stand you. Fiona gives me a appreciative look and gets to her feet. She marches out of the dining room despite Nev's protest, her eyes narrowed. Nev watches her retreating back from a frown. I knew we should have let that girl stay here. I can't believe she's throwing your hospitality back in your face like that. It's right, Nev. It's to be expected. Maybe I did take things a bit too far back then. I found arms floating back in my seat. I can't really blame Fiona if she hates me. I got so caught up in thinking about my new life in Aspen, free of the rules and restrictions imposed upon me in the human world, that I overstepped boundaries and went much too far. Perhaps I should apologize to Fiona. As the Great Dark Witch, I should be above apologizing to others. I'm sure that's what Nev would say, but I can't suppress a twinge of guilt in the pit of my stomach. Alright, I made up my mind. I push my feet to one side and get to my feet. I'm going to talk to Fiona about what happened earlier. And I'm going to tell her that I'm sorry. But, my lady... Nev stares at me, her wise-eyed. You have absolutely nothing to apologize for. Yep, I knew she'd say that. I caught it. You shouldn't demean yourself by apologizing to a commoner. She stole from you first. She deserved everything she got. Maybe, maybe not. But I don't have to be quite that cruel. I don't want her to hate me. It's such a waste given how cute she is. I think I need to set things right. Fiona, I thought you might be in here. I entered the thief girl's room without knocking on the door. As I expected, Fiona's lying face down on the clean white sheets, her arms wrapped around a pillow. She looks so small and frail like this. Another pitiful stab of guilt pierces my stomach. Guess I'm ready to go too far, huh? Fiona's bedroom looks almost identical to mine. I'm the one who furnished this castle, so all the rooms are designed with my personal preferences in mind. I'm finding large, tiny pieces of furniture and beds big enough to lose oneself in, but this is probably too fancy for Fiona's taste. She looks like she's being swallowed by my bed sheets. This whole time I just forced my preference onto Fiona without taking a moment to consider how she might feel. I should have been more considerate. Fiona must be thinking that too, because she sits up on her bed, glares at me. I didn't say you could come in. I know you didn't, but I wanted to talk to you. Well, I don't want to talk to you. Like I said, I don't ever want to see your face. Oh my. I cut my cheek with one hand and sighed. Is that the arrangement of my facial features really that disappointing to you? I didn't read that word right. Displeasing to you. I was under the impression my looks were at least above average, but perhaps not. Your face has nothing to do with it. You could be the prettiest woman in the whole kingdom. You still have a rotten heart. Do you think I'm the prettiest woman in the kingdom? You, Fiona squeezes the pillows a little closer to her chest, her cheeks turn pink. That ain't got nothing to do with anything, damn it. Just listen to what I'm trying to say. I'm listening now, I promise. But I know how much your promises are worth. How cruel. I might do wicked things, but I've never break my promises. Aren't you the one who fed me a tissue of lies back in the forest? I only did it to survive. I wouldn't swindle people if I didn't have to. You bully young girls just because you can. It's totally different. You're despicable and not adorable. You are pretty, damn it. You're prettier than I imagined, but that only makes it worse. It'd be easy to hate you if you were an ugly old witch like the stories say, but you look like an ordinary woman. Oh dear. I sigh and shake my head. And what else do the stories say? People think you eat babies and grind their bones down to make your potions, amongst other things. How barbaric. I'd never do anything that gruesome. So you wouldn't hurt a baby, would you? At least that's something. Of course not. They don't have nearly enough meat on them to make delicious dishes. And grinding their bones into powder sounds like far too much effort. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Ugh. Fiona pulls her face. I take back everything I just said. There's no saving a brave woman like you. Maybe not. But I'm not the ogre you seem to think I am. I did a bit of thinking, and I glanced down at the polished wooden floorboard and suddenly cried in front. I really am sorry for what I did to you. Huh? Come again? I said I'm sorry. I shouldn't have pushed you into the tree. It was wrong for me. Well, it's easy to say that, but it won't change the past. I can't trust you just because you apologize. I know that, and that's why I'm willing to show you how sorry I am through my actions. Is there anything you would like me to do for you? Finn, no favor is too small. You could always let me go. And live in the streets again? I couldn't bear that. That sounds more like inflicting cruelty upon you than a kindness. Can't you think of a little bigger? I am the powerful Dark Witch, you know. There's almost nothing in the world I can't make possible with my magic. Really? Fiona sits up a little straighter at this, her attention squared. There are no limits? Well, there are one or two. Maybe I shouldn't have spoken so carelessly. I can't bring people back from the dead. That is impossible. Huh? Fiona Nobi deflects a shorter slump. But you have the necromancer's necklace or whatever. Of course, I said the Necronomicon, the Book of the Dead. I do, but the necklace can't reverse the state of death. It can make skeletons rise from the earth and animate corpses, but they're not truly alive. Like you saw yourself, those skeletons weren't real. Flesh and blood humans. They were leeches animated only by the desire to kill. If somebody you love has died, it would be far too kind to let them rest. If you revive them, they wouldn't be the same as you remembered them. In fact, they'd probably be a danger to you. I see. Fiona sighs and draws her knees up beneath her chin. Well, so much for that. Some powerful Dark Witch you are. I am warning you for your own sake, Fiona. Yeah, another sigh. Well, there is one other thing you could help me with, I guess. If you were willing to apologize to me, that is. Oh, and what is that? To explain, I guess I have to tell you a little about my past. So you're going to give me a history lesson. It's nothing that grandiose. It's a sad story about an ill-fated family who suffered cause of the community they lived in. You see, I was born in a city called Montia. It's a very pretty city, with lots of beautiful white buildings and everywhere. I guess it's kind of famous. I say, mine is one of the biggest in Aspar. There are a lot of markets there, much better than the one in Hawthorne. My memory serves me correct, I purchased most of the furniture that decorates my home from Monta. My mother died a little while she was giving birth to me. I never really knew her, so I never missed her. As for my dad, however, I really did love him. He was the most wonderful father a girl could wish for. He used to play with me all the time, as he bought me new clothes and toys whenever he could. He spent all his money keeping me and my big sister Holly happy. We were really happy back in those days, too. My father owned a small grocery store. He bought fruits and vegetables from local farms for cheap prices and sold them at higher rates. He worked for long hours and never complained. My father was a kind, patient, and he never complained about anything, even when I was being a pest. We had a nice house, and my sister and I always had pretty clothes to wear, with matching ribbons in our hair. We had everything we could have wanted, and I was never sad or lonely, at least until one day, Fiona winces. The city guards knocked on the door of our shop when we were all closed for the evening and demanded to speak to my father. Fiona's voice tremors, her body tremors too. I want to rest a comforting hand on her shoulder and offer a few reassuring words, but I know I can't. I don't have that right. I made Fiona suffer a lot over the last few days, and I know she doesn't trust me. I don't think I could trust me either. Instead, all I can do is ask her as gently as possible, what happened? The guards said they had heard suspicious reports about my father's behavior. They believed his business was thriving because of unlawful business practices. Like what? They thought my dad was buying vegetables from dark witches which had been grown with illegal magics. Why would they think that? Because people started complaining about my family. They filed reports with the city guards saying our food had made them sick. They accused my dad of being a dark witch sympathizer, and they said he was trying to poison everyone. Was there any truth to these rumors? Of course not. My dad did some business with witches, but that's only because he felt sorry for them. Nobody was buying their stuff, you see. My dad just wanted to help people. He only ever wanted to help people. And the city folk, and then the city folk used that as an excuse to attack us. They were jealous of us because of our nice house and our nice clothes as they decided to bring us down. City guards came to our house later that night and they took our father away. They held him in prison and tortured him, trying to get a confession for a crime he never committed until he died. Fiona sniffles, her shoulders shake. Dad was already weak before they imprisoned him. He still hadn't gotten over Mother, and he's never been the healthiest of people. After that, my sisters and me were on our own. We couldn't pay for a nice house, so we were thrown out into the streets, and ain't nobody would help us. They all said we deserved it. I was only 10 years old at the time. My sister was 16. And what happened to her? How did you get separated? I decided to leave her by myself. My sister had to take on odd jobs to afford food for the two of us, but they weren't enough money. She worked long and hard, but she didn't eat enough. She always saved the best bits for me, food for me. She got so thin and pale I couldn't help but worry about her. I worried I was making her sick, so you ran away. That's right. I left my dinner. I didn't tell my sister. I ran away to start my own life when I was 12. But I never expected to live that long. I just wanted to help my sister. I didn't want to be a burden on her. But you're still alive. I'm tougher than I thought. I learned how to be light with my fingers and store what I needed to survive. I got strong. I forgot about my past. I just focused on the present. I was so busy worrying about me and how to get food that I stopped thinking about my sister. I haven't had the luxury to care about anyone other than myself for years. But now, Fiona's brow flowers. Now I've met you, Miss Dark Witch. I still can't say I trust you. In fact, it's the exact opposite of it. You may not be eating babies like the story said, but I don't think you're a good woman. If you were, you would never push me into the tree like that. Apologies don't matter. They can't change what you've already done, but Fiona's eyes bore into mine. I don't think I've ever seen her look this serious before. You're supposed to have a lot of magical power, right? That is correct. Then maybe you can help me. I never had a chance to look for my sister before. Even if I did, I doubt I'd get very far on my own, but if I had you with me, we might stand a chance at discovering her. I'd be able to see Holly again, and I'll be able to apologize for leaving her all those years ago without saying goodbye. I really do miss her. I miss her more than anything, and I'll do anything to see her again. If you could help me find her, I might even forgive you. Maybe. And what are my odds? About 50-50. Can't say I like those odds very much, but I clench my hand in the fist at my front. As the great Dark Witch Viola, I am not one to be underestimated. If anybody can find your sister, I can. You mean... Fiona stares at me, her lips poured in a small ring. You'd really look for her, for me? Well, why not? For your forgiveness, I'm willing to do anything. But why do you care so much? I figured you just wanted me to stick around so you could play with me. I thought you didn't care about my feelings. You thought wrong. Sometimes I can get a bit carried away and then I do things I regret later. That's putting it lightly, but I don't really want you to despise me. Seeing you look at me with those eyes full of hate is far too depressing. You have a pretty face. If you score too much, you'll get wrinkles. What a solid reason for wanting to help somebody. But I do want to help you. Reasons be damned, and isn't that enough? I don't know. Do you really think you can find Holly? If she's anywhere, she'll probably be in Montgia, but she could have moved for all I know. If she ain't there anymore, she could be anywhere. Oh, leave little faith. Don't look so gloomy. I smile cheerfully. It doesn't matter if she is in Montreal or not. She won't be able to escape from me, no matter where she is. I'll find where she's hiding, and I'll drag her out by her hair. Then you can finally reunite with her after all these years, and your sister's story will have a happy ending. I guarantee it, as the Dark Witch. No. I shake my head. Right now, I'm not the Dark Witch. Then who are you? Well, isn't it obvious? A monkey's uncle? Pfft. Never would I think I would ever hear the line of monkey's uncle in a video game. That's what I felt like right now. No. Right now, I'm your fairy godmother. We'll go to Mountaineer tomorrow, you, Nev, and me, and we'll hunt your sister down, I promise. And as you should know, I don't break my promises. I'll do anything if it will make Fiona forgive me. It might not be much, but I hope this little gesture is enough to show her that I really do care. Looks like we got one viewer. Hopefully you're welcome to the stream. So this is Montreal. It's been such a long time since I came back here. I feel kind of nostalgic. Fiona holds one hand to her chest. Perhaps her heart hurts. She looks around. I look around with her, just as curious but less emotionally invested. Montreal looks just like it did during my days of playing Aspen Online. Montreal is a charming city with a distinct European vibe, much like most of the towns and cities in Aspen. I guess classic Japanese architecture doesn't give you that fantasy feeling. The buildings are all white, so bright and pure it almost hurts to look at. The ground is made of uneven cobblestones mixed with broken bits of pale pink and white shells. I can hear the sound of the waves in the distance. Machi is built by the sea, and there are a large number of tedious fishing quests available on the docks. Never enjoyed fishing quest. Fortunately, that isn't the reason for why my party and I came here today. So much time has passed since I last saw this place, but standing here it feels like no time has passed at all. It's weird. I rest a hand against Shion's shoulders. It's alright, you can take your time to remember. Fiona shrugs my hand away from her shoulder. It's not like I owe you any thanks or anything, you know. You might have brought me here, but we still need to find my sister. I won't forgive you until I see Holly again. I know, I was just trying to console you. I don't want to be consoled by you. You're the least consoling person on the planet. How impertinent. Nev grabs her phone. She has so prone to doing. Those two, we don't see eye to eye, do they? They're not, and that's just because Nev's a few inches taller than the twitchy little thief. My lady took you here out of the goodness of her heart, though she didn't have to. You can at least be a little appreciative. Ah, crap. Skip too much. And what do I have to appreciate anyway? There's no guarantee Holly's here. If she isn't here, you would have nobody to blame but yourself. Ooh, damn! Burn! What do you mean by that? Oh, forgive me. I should have phrased it in a simpler manner even a dull like you can't understand. Nev coughs politely and clears her throat. What I mean to say is if you love your sister as much as you claim you do, you shouldn't have left it so late to try and find her once more. She might have moved on by now. In fact, it would have surprised me if she hadn't. Why would she continue to wait for the return of an wayward sister who hasn't bothered to contact her in almost a decade? Fiona's face turns red. It's not like I couldn't be bothered to contact her. I just didn't have the means. And anyways, I was too busy trying to save your own skin. I ran away because I wanted to help my sister. Stop making me sound like a villain. You're the darkling here, not me. So insulting my racism means to cover up your own embarrassment? Do what you will, but I find that to be in rather poor taste. You started it. You too. I sigh and press her hand against my forehead. It might be the Dark Witch, Viola, feared and respected across all of Aspen, but I can't get these two girls to get along with one another for more than 5 minutes. What does Ventura always say women don't get along? Traveling with these two is going to be a huge pain, I can already tell. Maybe I should threaten them when we get back. I can do this, that, and maybe even that. That should show them not to misbehave again so frankly. Excuse me, you there. Oh? Fiona jumps, he wheels about. It's a guard. The guard is grabbed in the attire of a knight. She has sword and dung at her thigh. She has loose flowing hair. Wouldn't that get in the way when she's trying to fight? And sharp narrowed eyes lined with long lashes. For some reason, her stern face awakens sudden memories inside me. Why does she look so familiar? She isn't an NPC in Aspen, is she? She's some cookie-cutter city guard. Identifies NCP standing around all the gates and watching Aspen Online, not for any real purpose, but because they make the game look more lively. Few of them give you fetch quests, I think, but I don't think this girl's an NPC. Halford is duty trained for that. Even if she was an NPC in a past life, now that I'm inside the real Aspen, she'd be her very own person. A human with thoughts and feelings, hopes and dreams. Is this your first time in Magia? Oh no, I've been here before when I was little, but I ain't been back in a while. Finn's accent, I know, seems to get thicker the more fleshy she is. It's kind of charming. The guard pressed her lips together. She doesn't look impressed. Maybe she's maybe she's something of a snob. Well, what about your traveling companions? I've been here before too, many times in fact. They're not quite like this. And I have too. Good, so you should know all about the rules here. Please do not make a disturbance during your stay here. If you do, you will be forcibly removed from our good city. Forcibly removed? Why does this little shit think she is? Maybe I should try to knock that wind off her sails. Yeah, let's float with the knight. She's got nice tits. I would never dream of making a disturbance, my good lady knight. I take a step forwards and of course stand up the knight's long loose hair with my index finger. You have such a charming face, it would pale me greatly to reduce it to tears. Please take this more seriously. The guard draws away from me jokingly, though she's trying to sound cool and unaffected. Her cheeks are starting to turn pink. I guess she is too accustomed to close contact. This one might be quite fun to play with, despite that sword hanging on her hip. She has very soft, silky hair, and her face, despite those cherry-narrowed eyes, is rather pretty. Moreover, as you are not citizens of Mo, you will not be allowed to remain in the city till after sundown. There's a curfew? That's correct. I don't remember Mantra having a curfew or anything before. The law has been passed recently, though it comes from the highest authority. It was demanded by the High Lord himself. Brian's here. Hey, Brian. Might I ask the reason why? There's been a string of thefts and burglaries throughout the streets of Montreal recently. Shops are being broken into, precious family jewelry is being lifted from drawers, even jars of honey and bread are being taken from pantries. This curfew is in place to protect the good people from thieves. If you linger too long in our city, you might be treated like criminals and you would have to pay the price. Please keep that in mind. Huh? But you can't treat us like criminals before we even done anything wrong. Oh? The guard eyes flash. Does that mean you might be planning on doing something in the future? No, that's not what I meant. Don't twist my words. I'm not going to say that, I know. I said your name, Brian. I'm not going to... I said your name like twice already. Come on. We know we're not going to do the one thing. I refuse to say his name on my stream. No, that's not what I meant. Don't twist my words. Ain't the rule innocent till proven guilty? That is a common maxim, yes, but it does not apply in this situation. Montreal or any outsider will be treated with suspicion. That is simply how things are. But, don't argue back, Fiona. Fiona's the last person to complain about these laws concerning her profession, but I suppose I understand her indulgence. Being regarded as a potential suspect of an uncommitted crime the moment we enter the city leaves a bad taste in my mouth, too. If only I could garden this upstart little knight beneath my heel and watch her face confident pain as she begs for forgiveness. But she's just doing her job. I shouldn't hate her for that. I hope you understand, but if you don't, you're always free to leave. No, we can't leave. We came here for a reason we can't turn back. Very good, now then. All visitors to the city must sign the guest book and let us ask you a few questions. Why do you want to know so much? For our protection, of course. Everything we do in Montreal, we do it for the good of all citizens. Alright, fine. I say bullshit to all that. You want to know who's the scumbag motherfuckers, that's what it is. And you have dirt on the innocent people. Fiona sighs. She kicks up the loose pebble on the ground with the tip of her shoe. Guess we haven't got any choice. I'll let you ask all the questions you want, but I ain't doing it for you. I'm doing this for Holly. Fiona casts her eye about the streets of Mont. She sighs. Holly, I hope you really are here. It's been too long since I last saw you. After answering a few of the guards' questions, our small group begins to explore the city. We split up and asked about Holly in every garage, shop, and cafe, but soon 5 hours eclipsed, we're still no closer to finding her. Defeated, the three of us reconvene at the market square at around 2 o'clock. We sit together on a small bench, sampling some of the local delicacies that are available at the nearby food stalls. Well, Nev and I eat. Fiona doesn't. Maybe she's too disheartened? Fiona, huh? Blinks hazily. She turns to look at me, her eyes suddenly glassy like those of a fish. Do you want something to eat? This food is rather delicious. I love sweet food. It might be contrary to my dark, scary image, but I don't care. Fluffy crepes filled with strawberry cream and chocolate. Oh, that does sound good. It's like taking a bite out of heaven. Fiona looks at my adorable girlish creep with an untested eye. She shakes at her head. I ain't hungry. You haven't had anything to eat since breakfast this morning, and that was hours ago. I know, but I can't sit around eating. You need to eat or else you die. But I can't right now. I haven't earned the privilege. I wasn't aware consuming food was a privilege. It's a basic human necessity. I still haven't found Holly. Fiona's fingers drench into her fist. She smacks the bench with her knuckles. I chirp. Don't do that. You'll injure your hands. I don't care. Well, I do. You're my property, and I don't want you hurting yourself. Your hands used to be rough and callous, but your skin is nice and smooth after mine and Nev's best efforts. Don't throw all that wonderful progress away. But... Fiona sniffles. I can't believe it. I looked everywhere and I still cannot find her. I guess Fiona isn't interested in my crepe, then. Oh well, all the more delicious crepe for me. I take a bite of it, a rush of cream and sugar fills my mouth. Ah, it's so delicious. It's almost makes me coming here wondering for hours worth it. I even went back to my old home. Not that it's there anymore. I swallowed my crepe and gave Fiona a curious look. What happened to it? My father's shop is gone. A new family lives in my house. I tried to ask them about my sister, but they haven't heard of her. They didn't know who was I either. I even asked about her at all the neighboring houses. Fiona grunts her teeth together, her fingers clench into a fist. I didn't want to. Those were the people who reported my dad to the garden and got him thrown in prison. I vowed to have nothing to do with these cowards who ruined my life and killed my father and went behind our backs to do it. But if I figured if anybody who would have known anything about my sister, it'd be them. And did you learn anything? Though I've already gleaned from Fiona's downcast expression that she didn't. No. Fiona signs and shakes her head. They didn't know nothing about my sister. They said they hadn't seen her since my father's shop closed down. The worst thing is they didn't even seem sorry about what happened. Nobody even cared. They were the ones that chased me and my sister from our home, and they didn't have a single shred of sympathy for us. I'm surprised they recognized you just like that. Didn't you say you used to live a life of luxury? None of them did recognize me at first. When they realized who I was, they had quite a shock. Some of them went all pale. Maybe they thought I was a ghost coming back for revenge. Fiona nods. I'd like to have knocked them around a bit, punished them for all the wrong they did to me, but what good would that do? It wouldn't help my sister. I just can't get thrown out of the city, then I'd never be able to find her even if she's here. That's surprisingly sensible coming from you. What do you mean, surprisingly? I'm sensible. You don't get far living on the streets if you ain't. Nev didn't mean anything by it, Fiona. She was just teasing. There, little puppy. I gently pat the top of Fiona's head. Fiona growls. I ain't a dog, you know, but it seems to calm her down all the same. The tension leaves Fiona's shoulders. She looks down at her knees, a soft lemming from her hips. This is useless. I've searched all over. My feet are covered in blisters now. It hurts to walk. I've asked everyone I can think of. Nobody knows where my sister is. Nobody knows a thing. Maybe your sister isn't in this city. It wouldn't be a surprise if she moved. I know, but I believe she loved my dad and she loved me and she loved our shop. I can't believe she simply moved away like that. She might have loved you and your dad and your shop, but your shop is closed now. Your dad is... Craig says, hey, Doug. Hey, Craig. Hope you're having a good night tonight. Your dad... Okay, that must be a spelling typo because it says your dad is dead. I think it's supposed to say your dad is dead and you went away from her. You didn't leave behind so much as a note. She probably thought you were dead too, but I ain't dead. I'm right here. I know you're here, unfortunately, but how could she... Yeah. Funny, Inigo traces a pattern against the bench with her fingertip. I guess you're right. There's no way my sister would know I'm still alive. Maybe she did move. Maybe she left Montanea behind her like I did, but I can't quite believe it. It doesn't seem like something Holly would do. But the fact remains we haven't found her. That doesn't mean she ain't here. And how do you profess to locate her? The people who know you didn't like your family, they won't help. And the people who don't know you won't know anything about your sister. It's a lost cause. Just like the Cleveland Browns. Craig says it's a good night. All right, that's lovely to hear. Nip, nip. Fiona bites her lower lip. I don't want to agree with you, but maybe I should give this whole thing up. This ain't fair. Fiona looks at me, scrolling, her eyes narrowed. You said you'd be able to find my sister. You promised, and you said you never broke your promises. And I don't. Then where's my sister, huh? Well, find her within time. You need to be more patient. I can't be patient any longer, damn it. Fiona kicks at the ground with the heel of her shoe. Your maid is right. This is impossible. I was a fool to put my faith in you. You wronged me one too many times already. What's what I expect anyway? Now, stop grousing, little puppy. Why don't you have a bite of crepe? It might cheer you up. I already said I'm not hungry. May not be hungry right now, but girls have a spectacular stomach for desserts, don't they? Have you have just one tiny bite. It'll do you some good. But at that moment, Fiona's stomach rumbles. It's a loud, unmistakable groan that makes Niv snort. Fiona's cheeks flush red. Well, maybe I'm a little hungry. Then take it. Try some. I pass the crepe to Fiona. She accepts it with trembling fingers. I don't really like sweets, but if you're going to be that insistent, I guess I can try some. That's right. You should consider yourself lucky. Lucky, my lady, they're going to offer you her own food. Nev crubs her cheeks with her hands. The crepe is covered with my lady's teeth marks. Okay, Nev, we know you want to fuck Viola. We get it. We figured that out within the first 10 minutes. Her tongue lapped up that crepe. Just imagine that. Her saliva was mixed in with those strawberries. Oh, good God, Nev. It's not fair. I want to try her special crepe. By the way, there's the legs anybody wanted to see. Get back here, you thief. Oh, we have a thief. Krah! The sudden commotion makes Fiona squirm in surprise. She drops the crepe on the ground without taking a single bite. My crepe! You'll pay for your clumsiness, you silly girl. How dare you waste my lady's precious ended kiss like that? Calm down, Nev. There seems to be quite the ruckus taking place around here. I rise to my feet, so does Fiona. A woman is darting through the streets like a minnow, her hair flowing behind her. She's holding something beneath the hem of her jacket. I'm not sure what it is. Food maybe? Jewels? Fine fabrics? Come back here this instant, you wench. A man chases after her, shaking her fist. Did this woman steal something from him? Maybe she's a thief. How dare you offer me in the middle of the day before my very eyes? Do you think I'll let you get away with this because you're a woman? No. The girl glances at the man over her shoulder. She spouts back at him. I think you'll let me get away with this because there's no way you'll be able to catch me. Why, let's see how cocky you are when the city guard's on your tail. You might be able to run from me, but you won't be able to run from Helena. Helena? Why does that name sound so familiar? I'm sure I've heard it before, but... Guards! A filthy thief has stolen a loaf of bread from my store. Bread? Well, shit, this... Nothing... Oh, this for a loaf of bread? I'm having flashbacks to Aladdin. It does seem rather exercising, yes, but our community is down outed. Guards alerted to the store owner's cries begin to search the streets. I'm not sure where they're all hiding, but there's at least 8 of them. Nev whistles under her breath. They're taking security rather seriously around here. Rana has always had a lot of guards stationed around the ports and the marketplace because it's built by the sea. We used to have a problem with pirates and smugglers. Okay, so Luffy's been here. The guards are supposed to keep the peace, but that girl on a strawly loaf of bread, she ain't a criminal. Why are they all chasing after her? I suppose the guards had to be seen to be doing something. But that woman is too fast and slippery for these guards. She ducks and dodges, weaving in and out of their pointed spears and flashing blades. They even have weapons, and are they trying to kill her over a loaf of bread? Apparently, yes. Haha, you'd never be able to catch me. Not so fast, we have you surrounded. All the exits and entrances around the marketplace are blocked. You better surrender yourself, thief. Never! The woman spits on the ground in defiance. Then we'll have to teach you a lesson. Forgive us if we get a little rough. We don't want to hurt your pretty face. But there are rules around here. I've lived too long enough to know that about your rules. You persecute the poor and help only your selfish shelves. These rules exist to keep us downtrodden, cold, and hungry. Well, I won't stand by it any longer. Like, you'll be able to get away. You'll see how tough you are when you're rotting away in prison. Not on your life. The woman jumps backwards, avoiding a swing from the guard's sword. She glances to her left, her right. More guards are joining in the fray. Like they said, all entrances and exits are blocked. Hopes of escaping them seem slim. Please make it. Fiona prays quietly beneath her breath and her hands claps against together. Why do you send Viss in this pretty thief's welfare anyway? Because she reminds me of me. She looks older than you, though. Fiona frowns. She glances between the woman back into the corner of her lips. It's hard to tell from a distance, but the two of you do bear a few striking similarities. The woman has blonde, fluffy hair, just like Fiona, and her skin is similarly dark. Her nose is the same shape and the furriness of her lower lip. Could it be? Fiona, do you think that's your sister? Well, my sister, no way. Holly would never turn to a life of crime. She was always determined to keep on the straight and narrow. My sister worked as a maid and a seamstress and a street vendor, but she'll never steal. Hey, even Chava Guerrero stealed, okay? Maybe she didn't steal when she had to look after you. If she was caught and in prison, you would be on your own. But you're not with your sister anymore. People do desperate things when they're backed into corners. Like stealing from a market in the middle of the day, for instance. It's not the most sensible of moves, but this woman's arms and legs are skinny as twigs. She looks thin. When was the last time she ate? Yesterday? 2 days ago? 3? Is that why she decided to rob a street stall? Was she so hungry that she couldn't help herself? Well, if that's my sister, then what if she gets captured? She looks like a resourceful one. Let's try and have faith in her. Reading is so much fun! Despite being backed into a corner, the woman, Holly, doesn't flaunt it. Instead, she slides past a group of guards and jumps onto a stack of nearby crates. Guards surge around her, intent on capturing her, but she's too quick for them. She kicks off from the crates and jumps up onto the roofs of a nearby stall. The owner of a stall, a plump woman with a very long orange hair, gasps in surprise and collapses. Did she faint? Holly continues to jump between the rooftops of the stalls while the guards try to pursue her. One shoots a few arrows at her, but Holly dodges them all. Like you ever be able to catch me? You're just guards. You're paid by the royal family to stand around the city looking important. But you don't know all the ins and outs of Mana like I do. You don't know the lanes, the alleys, the twisting. turning robes. That's why you'll never be able to defeat me. Holly jumps up from the roof of a market store and lands on the wall that runs about the front of the market store. She runs across the wall, dodging arrows that fly towards her. Is she looking for an escape route? Will she make it in time? For a few moments, it looks like she will, but not so fast. A woman steps forward. It's the same woman from before who let my party into the city. Obviously, begrudgingly. The Lady Knight. Oh, Ellen, thank goodness you're here. So her name's Ellen, is it? Teach that thief a lesson. Don't let her get away. I won't, I promise. Hello, look at that. Well, that's a nice camera view, isn't it, everybody? Nosebleeds. Anya unleashes her sword. She dashes forward to the one running in her hair. You won't get away with your crimes, you thief. Catch me if you can. Holly turns, she's going to jump, but, you're too naive, thief. Then draws a short dagger from the inside of her thigh and throws it. She throws it straight and true. The dagger hits her target. It impacts with Holly's ankle. Holly winces in pain as the dagger pierces her flesh. She can't keep her balance on the wall. She's falling. But Holly! Ellen catches Holly before she hits the ground. She holds her the thief in her arms. Oh my! Doesn't that look interesting? I wish the rope would move. Before she drops her unconscious, unsafe against the ground, she pins Holly in place, her arms behind her back, one hand pushing her face into the dirt. Holly winces. She struggles and tries to get free, but it's in vain. Her ankle is bleeding and splashes of garnish bright crimson pepper the cobblestone ground. She looks like she's suffering. You bitch! You can swear all you want, but that won't help you. In fact, I believe it will make you currently predicament worse. The crowds begin to cluster around Ellen and her captor. The owners of the store start applauding, while those who are busy shopping watch on, entertained by the show. So this is... so this put a game. It is a game. It's pretty much from... how can I say this? It's pretty much from... Gazuzuma, Gamuzumi. It's pretty much it's a novel, pretty much, and all that. And yeah, they're pretty much perverts. I actually have all their games. I can admit that. Granted, the PS4 one is censored, unfortunately, the Sony ones. I think the Nintendo Switch ones are not. And I know the Steam ones are not, though, because you can get this game on Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, Nintendo, all that. We need to go see if it's really her. Come on! Fiona dashes forwards without waiting for the rest of us. Excuse me, can you move, please? I need to see what's happening. She pushes her way through the crowd, ignoring the grunts of the complaint. Nev sighs. That fool, she's making such a spectacle of herself. We should follow her to make sure she doesn't do anything too stupid. Good idea. I don't want Fiona jumping in and trying to defend this thief girl if she really is her sister. That would cause any number of problems. I know I'd be able to rescue her easily even if the guards had swarmed Fiona and pin her down, but I'd rather not blow my cover. Not like I did last time. Nev and I can make our way through the crowd soon. We'll make it to Fiona. And when we do... No! Fiona's staring wide-eyed at the scene before us. The Knight Ellen is still pinning the thief down. It was hard to tell from afar, but the thief really does look like Fiona. They're the same dark skin and light hair. I think their eyes are the same color. Those noses look identical. And they're the same four lower lips. That's her. That's my sister. It's Holly. The guards swarm around Holly. One of them ties her hands behind her back, another forces her to her feet. Ellen brushes her against the hem of her skirt, like she's trying to cleanse herself of a horrible disease. Holly twists and tries to escape, but a guard hits her on the stomach with the handle of her sword. Ugh! Cough, cough. Holly winces and doubles over, coughing. That's what you get for trying to escape, Vernon. Screw you, Holly. Fiona wishes forward for at least she tries to. She doesn't make it. Wait. I'll take hold of Fiona's soldier none too gently. She turns around and shoots me. What are you doing? Let's go. That's my sister. They're apprehending my sister. I know, but think about this rationally. What's there to think about? I have to save her. I have to. And how are you going to do that? You're just one small, skinny little thief girl. But, you're with me. You can save her, right? You're the power... Shh. I press the palm of my free hand against Fiona's big mouth. Don't go blamming about that here. Now calm down. I draw my hand away once more. Let's see what Ellen has to say. Anit faces the crowd gathered in the marketplace. She clears her throat, then launches a little into a... People, I hope you've seen what happens if one dares break the law around here. This woman stole a loaf of bread. Now she'll be punished accordingly. She will be in prison for 2 years in the Black Heart... 2 fucking years! For stealing bread! Jesus Christ! Blackheart Crawley. If I remember correctly, that's an underground dungeon that's located on the outskirts of Montana. It lies beyond the city walls, surrounded by trees. And some of you might say this punishment is too harsh for a mere loaf of bread, but I disagree. She should consider herself lucky that she would not be condemned to death for this. Laws are in place to protect our people. They can assure we can go about our daily lives without worry or fear. When somebody considers themselves above the law for whatever reason, they must be punished. I'm not doing this to be cruel. I'm doing this to help this poor wench learn her lesson in the hopes that she may be reformed. I believe in one less criminal roaming the streets, the people more will feel safer. I am doing this for you, the general public, so please continue to support me while I make Marlin safer again. Continue to support me? What is this, a politician? This listing is so calculated, and at the end of the day, Holly only stole a loaf of bread. But all the people seem to be loving it. They cheer and applaud. I knew I could depend on you. Thank you. Anit bows her head. However, I'm just doing my duty. There's no need to thank me. Okay, we gotta save the bitch. Go. Fiona grunts her teeth together. I can't believe it. How can they applaud her like she's some kind of hero? I want to go in and smash her teeth in. An understandable statement, but don't do anything rash. I know you've been looking for your sister for a long time, but jumping in there and getting yourself arrested won't help. But I haven't seen her in years. I finally found her after all this time. I want to talk to her and let her know I'm safe. Just see her smile again, but she's going to get thrown in prison. That's true, but there's no reason for us to lose our heads. Why, how can you stay so calm? Because, my little puppy, I have a plan. The three of us exit the city gates. We trek through the forest, sticking those close to the trees and aiding beneath the bowers of leaves up above. Now, I know, Craig, if you're watching, or anyone still, if you're wondering why I'm streaming this, I figured we could take a break from Blood Rain and Umbrella Corps and Ghost of Tsushima and look at some anime. Beautiful anime women, beautiful figured anime women, you know? Something we could all enjoy. Single man, married man, single women. And all that stuff. We're following the group of guards leading Holly to the gala. The female knight is at the front, her sword stuck through her hip. Some of the other guards have swords too. Others are sporting lances or bows. There are 6 of them. It's quite a lot of guards for one skinny thief with an arrow sticking out of her ankle that makes it hard for her to walk. Will this really work? Of course it will work. This plan is designed by my lady herself. How dare you insist there might be flaws with it? I was just wondering. There are 6 of them and only 3 of us. Don't worry, Fiona. I could dispatch an army of 12 with a mere click of my fingers. Really? I'm not the field dark witch for nothing. You saw how I responded to skeletons, didn't you? I guess that is true. You did kind of save me and all. So on a day's work, I saved you from your own stupidity, I might add, and now I crack my knuckles. I'm going to save your sister. Hee Lady Viola. Never sighing, she looks at Dreamy, her face flushed. You're so incredible. I know. Holly starts to lag behind, she winches. Don't slow down. A guard shoves Holly in the back with his fist, so she stumbles. Oh, hey, watch it. You watch it. That's no way to talk to us. If you're not careful, we'll cut your tongue out of yours right out of your mouth. Isn't that a little extreme? That's what you get for not knowing your place. You're just a common thief. We'll make sure you never forget it. But I'm only going to be in prison for 2 years. I'll get out of jail eventually, then you'll wait and see. I'll make you regret treating me like this. Even if you do get out of jail alive, you won't have a life to come back to. That's fine by me. I never had much of a life before either. Now without mother or father or... Hey, stop talking to yourself. The guard sinks into Holly's side. She winces. She almost knocks her over. Ow! Her face comforts in pain. She bites her lower lip in an attempt to stuff her own whimpering. Fawn glows, her fingernails dig into the bark of the tree we're hiding behind. Those assholes! We gotta go after her. We have to save her. In parts of Ori's, Fauna draws her daggers out. I have to wonder where she hides them. Hope it doesn't leave much to the imagination. But I know where she's hiding them. I'm just not gonna say it. Hey, you! Fiona charges forward. Take your filthy hands off my sister. Oh? What's this? Sister? The guards pause in unison. They turn their heads and look at Fiona. They frown. I didn't know you had a sister. For Holly stares, her eyes waiting in shock, those vengeance of pain still visible inside her pupils. Phone, is that really you? Hee, it's me, alright. Sorry to keep you waiting. But, you... It's been years since I last saw you. I thought you were dead. I ain't dead, sis. I'm a lot tougher than I look. I'm so glad. You've always been my little sister. You're so small and delicate. I was afraid. I was sure you wouldn't last a single night on the streets on your own. Well, I lasted one night, alright, and more beside. I had to stay alive. Even though it was cold and scary, sometimes I went hungry. I couldn't let myself die until I met you. And now you've been reunited. I suppose it doesn't matter if you drop dead. Huh? Fiona jumps back as the blade of his sword nearly misses her head. Still manages to cut her cheek, though. A trail of red blood slowly trickles down to her jawline. You bastards! Fiona groans. She wipes the blood off the back of her hand. You'll pay for this. Fiona, no, run. You won't be able to take on all these guards. Who do you think I am? I can't just run away, not when we finally found each other after so long. I'm gonna blow all these guys away, then I'm gonna rescue you. Fiona! The guards around on Fiona. They swing at her with their swords and fire off volleys of arrows. But Fiona's too quick for them. She dodges and ducks beneath all the attacks without sacrificing so much as a hair on her head. You're too slow. You'll never be able to catch me, you brat. Take this. Another beautiful picture. Other arrows is fired at Fiona, but she manages to deflect it with her daggers. She grins. Don't underestimate me. I ain't no brat. I might be small, but I'm a grown woman, and I'm more than a match for all of you. Fiona, behind you. Already seen it. Fiona ducks before a lance can pierce her chest. She spins knocking the lance to the ground with her sweep of her legs. But you never saw that coming. She's doing remarkably well for herself. Must be because of her sister. I've heard it said that when the ones they love are in danger, people are capable of doing amazing things. You're all so slow. You don't be able to lay a finger on me. Is that so just for show or what? Oh my God, that swing was so pathetic. Ha 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 ha. But it would probably be for the best if she didn't goad him like that. She's dodging their attacks, but she isn't getting a chance to attack herself. Maybe she needs somebody to create a distraction for her? That sounds like a job for you, Nev. Huh? Why me? I have my sights set on somebody else. I'm looking not at the guards trying to fend off Fiona, but at the curious woman who captured my interest the moment I laid my eyes on her. I don't know. I wanted to know, why does she look so familiar? Just who is she? Alright, I suppose I can lend a helping hand. But I'm not doing this because I want to aid this little thief girl. I'm only doing this for you, my lady. I figured. Good luck, Nev. Touched though I am, I don't need your well wishes, my lady. Scruply humans should be easily to defeat. Nev steps out from behind the tree. Her skirt flutters around her thighs. Seems your guards are intent on attacking one of my comrades. The thief has reinforcements? Nev, what are you doing? I came here on my lady's orders. Huh? Does she think I can't take care of this by myself? I'm doing just fine. Nev sighs. How ungrateful. I wouldn't be advised to leaving you on your own and letting you get stuck full of arrows, but it's been a while since I had any cute humans to play with. Play? What does she mean? Look at those horns. A darkling? I've never seen a darkling before. Aren't they supposed to be good with magic? Indeed. If you never seen one of my kind, then please. Nev takes the hem of her skirt in both hands, stops a small, polite curtsy. Allow me to show you just how powerful we darklings really are. Nev draws herself up to her full height. She stretches out her white palm and says, Burn! A powerful burst of magic emits from Nev's palm. It races through the forest, singing the guards to a crisp. What's this? It hurts. I can't. Hands slacken, swords and spears fall to the ground. So do the assembled knights. Their armor clanks as their knees hit the ground in its orderly calamity. Fiona stares. I didn't know you were so powerful. Oh, I have much more magical energy than that. I was playing nice because I didn't want to kill anybody. Nev kicks the collapsed body of a knight. He groans. But maybe next time I should hit them even harder. No, don't. The collapsed guard claws at Nev's leg in an attempt to earn her pity. But it's a fruitless effort. Nev kicks him away carelessly. The guard coughs and moans. His whole body is racked with shivers. You made your point clear enough. Just don't hurt us anymore. One single thief isn't worth this much pain. Not over a loaf of bread. Oh, are you saying the law doesn't matter? No, Miss Eleanor. I wasn't saying that at all. It's just you asked and they begged these two girls not to hurt you. You were willing to give our prisoner away to save your own skin. Well, I won't have it. Justice will be served no matter what. Though this girl only stole a little bit, it's what the bird symbolizes that's important. It shows her clear lack of respect for Marcho's culture, society, and its people, and that is unforgivable. I just want to smack her in the face. You might have taken my guards down, but... Unturns the phone enough. She removes her sword from its scabbard and holds it tightly in her right hand. You will not best me so easily. We'll just see about that. Fiona reaches her daggers. Nev holds up her right hand, ready to fire yet more blasts of magic energy at a new assailant. These three women survey one another, positioned in a triangle formation, with Ellen at the tipmost tip and Nev and Fiona at the bottom. I already know before it happens what the outcome will be. Nev and Fiona determined, though they are, won't be able to hurt her. And is nothing like the other gods. She's composed, self-confident, strong. She's much, much too strong. And I love powerful women more than anything. They're so much fun to torture. I love stripping away their sense of self-worth, bit by bit, until the unwillingly messes at my feet, capable of only begging for forgiveness. Lynn has a pretty face. She has a pretty mouth, too. I wonder what her voice sounds like when she's begging. I want to know. I have to find out. I'm getting excited just thinking about it. Fiona, Nev, step back. But this is the woman who pinned my sister down. I need to make her pay. You've done splendidly, my little thief. But this target belongs to me. I walk forward, still dressed in my peasant attire. The leaves and twigs scattered across the forest floor crunch with my every footstep. I'll be the one to bring her down, and I alone. But, shush. Nev presses a finger against Fiona's lips. Let my lady have her fun. That's right, you two scram. I wave one dismissing hand at them. This might get violent rather quick, and I can be scary when I'm angry. Let's go and help Paul. We should see if she can still walk. Alright. I wanted to get at least one blow on the lady, but I guess Viola is the boss. Fiona and Nev loop about behind Ellen. They crouch beside the fallen figure of Harley, who must have been knocked over doing all the commotion, and try to help her. I don't really care what they're doing. I'm too busy looking at my new foe. My nemesis. I don't know. For a nemesis, she's really awfully pretty. Her eyes are very big, figuratively with long lashes, and her hair is a blazing red. It seems a shame such a beautiful woman should look at me with such distrust. Her fingers caught around the hilt of her sword. Who are you? Are you a friend of the thief, if I meant to bring justice? I want to call myself a friend, exactly. But I won't let anybody harm Fiona's beloved sister. So, you're challenging me because you want to help your ally? Animal though that is, you're acting in folly. You'll never be able to defeat me. Well, we'll just see about that. I take a step towards the knight, she takes a step forward. We face one another, our eyes narrow, the wind making our hair flutter. The knight's fingers tighten about the hilt of her sword. Her lips pressed together tightly into a thin, hard line. Wait. Ellen pauses, her eyes lash with a spark of recognition. You look strangely familiar. I do? That's right. Haven't we met somewhere before? You know, it's curious, but I was wondering the same thing. I felt like I had known your face and name, but I can't quite place it. Maybe we were enemies in a past life. Then let's settle the score in this life. Ellen dashes towards me, her sword aloft. She's moving at incredible speed. Clouds of dirt fire up from the ground where she kicked with her heel, and her red hair streams behind her like a banner. She moves gracefully, her body twisting and turning like a snake. She has completely and utter control over her blade. Almost like a natural extension of her body, a part of her. The blade swings as it slices through the air. The metal almost seems to quiver. Her movements are deadly, yes, but at the same time, they're strangely captivating. Though determined and serious, she isn't like any warrior I've met before. She moves with the nimble grace of a dancer. If she was up against anybody other than myself, she sliced her opponent into ribbons in less than a second. Unfortunately, you're too slow. I click my fingers. My body vanishes just before Ellen's blade can run through me, and I reappear behind her. The airships around me I could dim my form. Ellen pauses. The Pride Knight almost stumbles, but she manages to catch herself before she falls to the ground. Trembling, her shoulders tense and her eyes narrow, she turns her head. You can teleport? That's right. Are you surprised? But that's high-level magic. Even the most powerful witches and wizards and Aswan have difficulty teleporting, especially with the merest click of a finger. I guess that makes me pretty special. I want to hand through my hair casually, trying to keep my face impulsive. I can't let her know teleporting's a little tricky even for me. It's hard to make your body disappear and reappear at will. I can do it over short distances, but over long ones, forget it. That's too much like hard work. It takes the toll even on powerful witches like myself. What Ellen doesn't know won't hurt her either. Or rather, it will hurt her. Fighting isn't like that. It's not all a matter of brawn and brute strength. You need to get inside your opponent's head. I demonstrate to Ellen just how powerful my magic is. She should be taking me a bit more seriously now. She'd be on her guard. She won't try to make any sudden moves lest I counter with another devastating spell, but her own rip would be her downfall. Why don't we finish this? I'm beginning to tire of fighting already, and I don't want my hair to get messy. We've hardly been at this for 20 seconds. And 20 seconds is much too long. Oh? And how do you suppose to defeat me so quickly? She's trying to sound tough, but I can tell she's shaken. She's unsure what to do next, and she doesn't know the full extent of my abilities. Poor little knight girl. Knights tend to wear their capabilities in their hands. There's only so much you can do with a sword, no matter how skilled you are. With magic, however, I was thinking about doing this. The possibilities are limitless. And she did her Sailor Moon transformation. I hold up my right hand, a burst of dark energy flies from my palm. The magic is so powerful it dispenses the glamour on my outfit. My peasant scab melts away to reveal my favorite outfit, the black skin-tight dress with the fur trim. Ellen is blown backwards by the sudden burst of magical energy. Her back hits a nearby tree and she collapses onto the ground. She's shaken, coughing. Her eyes are squeezed tightly and shut and it looks like she's in pain. Well. I take a step towards her. I lift one of my boots and grind the golden hair down into Ellen's side. That wasn't very difficult, now was it? Cough. Ellen's body is covered in cuts. Her long, sicky hair has lost most of its luster and is now filled with leaves and broken twigs. The poor dear. Maybe it would have been kinder if I hit her with a blow strong enough to knock her unconscious. But then I wouldn't be able to see the adorable look of disappointment on her face while I toy with her. I grind my hair down a little harder. My heart is thumping hard inside my chest. Ellen looks so good like this, withering beneath me in agony. I had to try hard to suppress my mounting excitement. I don't want it to show in my face. I need to remain cool and laugh. I can't let Ellen have any power over me. I won't let her. Ugh! Ellen whimpers in pain as I grind my hair down harder. She tries to bite back her moans, but she can't quite manage it. She pinned beneath my heel like a butterfly on a board. A few cuts and graces decorate her face like paint on an artist's canvas. I almost want to bend down and lick up her tangy coppered blood. I'm sure it tastes delicious. Ellen looks at me. I'm surprised she has enough strength to move her head after the force of my attack. You're the Dark Witch Viola. That's right. It took you long enough to figure it out. Anybody would recognize that godly outfit. Godly? How rude. I think that outfit looks great, but my clothes are made of the finest materials in Aspen, and these boots are crafted from genuine dragon hide. But please, don't take my word for it, have a feel! I press my heel down into Off's soft, unprotected stomach. Ellen whispers, her eyes flutter. So, how is it? How do my genuine dragon hide boots feel as they grind your worthless body into dirt? Viola, yes, what is it? Don't you recognize me? I must admit, you do look rather familiar, but... I pause and take in the current scene. Ellen's body's cramped beneath me, lying in the dirt. This golden heel of my dragon hide boot is digging into the soft, exposed flesh of her... Wait a minute, this was at the start of the game! Flesh of her stomach. This pose, her moans, that fleshed face, that long, silky hair, and that armor. It can't be. I remember now. I beat you once before in Aspen Online. You tried to attack me in Roseberry Forest, and I hit you with a magical spell. You were completely at my mercy. You were a level 99 player and thought you could defeat me, but you were wrong. Helena, for all the powerful Dark Witch, you don't have the best memory, do you? Are you so self-absorbed you only think of yourself? It isn't that. So many fool-hearted players in Aspen Online have challenged me that I've forgotten their faces, let alone their names. At least you are a little different. You were filled in one blow, much like the others, but it's fun to see you try and make excuses for your failure. You really were pathetic. But that made defeating you even more fun. I'm glad I was able to fight you again. It was over too soon, but it really was fun. I frowned. Why are you in Aspen anyway? I don't know. I could ask you the same thing. I see. So you're a player from the real world, just like me. That's right. I went to sleep at the plane Aspen on land after you defeated me in the forest, and then I woke up. I was in Montador. I'm not sure how it happened, but I've been trying to accept it. But it's hard. I haven't met anybody else from the real world. I thought I was the only one who was brought here. Now this is interesting. This woman is from the real world just like me. She was also born into the Aspen Online through the strange means, calling it magic or science, or plot convenience. And she doesn't know how to get back home. I don't care much about going back home myself, but now I really am curious. Is there a reason why the two of us were born here? Are there other people in Aspen like us? I'd like to find out. There's one thing I hate, it's being ignorant. Oh, the sisters were united. Yay! We're gonna have a happy ending. Fiona, I'm so glad you're alright. Holly, I missed you so much. Sniffing till for the two women embrace. Fiona, who's shorter than her sister, rests her head against her sister's chest. I don't understand. I should be happy to see you again, but I can't stop crying. I feel the same way, Fiona. It must be because of the relief. All this time I was so convinced you were dead. I'm just happy to see that you're really alright. Well, of course I ain't dead, dummy. I couldn't let myself die, not when I knew you'd be worrying about me. Fiona brushes a few stray tears away from her eye and takes a step backwards. Her face is generally flushed, but she's still smiling. You've always been a warrior, sis. You should try thinking about yourself for once. That's why I turned to a life of crime. It's because I was only worrying about how to survive. I'm curious about that. How did it happen? You're always such a good girl. I was when you were around, Fiona. I had to look after you. Mother and father were both dead, and I was the only family member you had left. So I thought I should try to be a good role model. I never stole, cheated, or committed any crimes, even though it would have been easier to provide for us like that. I don't want you growing up to be a criminal because you were always such an innocent girl. I tried to keep on the straight and narrow. I took mediocre jobs, no matter how demanding they were. I worked as a maid. I dealt socks. I sold candles and matches and flowers on the streets. But no matter how hard you worked, it wasn't enough. You could hardly afford to feed me, let alone the both of us. Fiona. Holly's eyes soften. She sighs softly. Isn't that why you ran away? Yeah. It's not because I was unhappy with you or anything, sis. I know how hard you worked for my sake, and I was so grateful, but I was afraid if I was a burden, I was worried you'd work yourself to death to look after me, and I figured it wasn't worth it, so you left me. You left me and you didn't even say goodbye. Holly, Fiona says she wipes her eyes from the back of her arm. I'm so sorry. I thought I was doing the right thing, but now I think I should have talked to you about it. I should at least let you know how I was. I did a bad thing, and I'm sorry, I really am. Fiona bows her head deeply. She squeezes her eyes tightly shut. I hope you can forgive me for being a bad sister. Oh, Fiona. Holly shakes her head. There's a small Indian smile on her face. You don't need to ask for my forgiveness. What? We're sisters. I'm not mad at you. If anything, I'm the one who should be asking you to forgive me. What do you mean? I mean, when you left, I had no reason to keep being a good girl. I thought I might as well start stealing if it would make my life more bearable. But the whole time I was thinking of you. I was afraid if you knew what your big sister had become, you wouldn't look up to me anymore. You wouldn't love me. It was a scary thought. Wow, we've been streaming this game for almost 3 minutes. I did say this would be a one-shot thing. Because we're not going for all the endings, we're just doing one. I wanted to be mature, responsible older sister for you, but I'm afraid I've let you down. Oh, Holly, don't be silly. I don't care how you make a living. I'm just glad you're still alive. But I'm glad you're alive too, Fiona. I was so worried. Me too. Oh, Fiona. Holly. And now they're back to hugging and crying again. The two pull each other closer in another soft, warm hug. Fiona relaxes in her sister's embrace. She sniffles, burying her head in Holly's soft, cushy chest. I wonder if she's covering her sister's front and snot in tears. I guess Holly doesn't mind, even if Fiona's covering her in snot. They're sisters, so it's shield snot. Family snot? I don't know. I never really had much of a family. I don't have any brothers or sisters, and I've never seen my parents in years. Looking at this soft, sentimental scene is making me feel a little mushy inside myself. Hey, Holly. Fiona blinks up at her sister. Her eyes are widening in her long. Her pale lashes are stuck together. Why do you come with us? What do you mean? You can live with me and Valley, and her house is huge. There are like hundreds of rooms. There are 66 rooms to be precise. Exactly, hundreds. There's a bit of a difference between 66 and 100. Whatever, minor details. Fiona waves one hand carelessly. There's loads of rooms. I'm sure Vahel will be able to find somewhere nice to put you. Then you won't need to steal. You'll never need to worry about anything where your next meal comes from. Viola. Holly looks up and down curiously. She looks suspicious. You mean the Dark Witch, Viola? She is the Dark Witch, but she ain't that bad, really. Even if she's a little hard to get on with at first. Even if she did watch while I was assaulted by a tree. A tree? Oh, never mind. I just wanted to say she isn't as terrible as the stories make her out to be. She's a bit of a sadist, but she ain't evil, and I owe her a lot. She even saved my life. It's because of her that I'm still alive, and she's the one who helped me find you again. Why do you come with me, Holly? Fiona takes Holly in her hand and squeezes it tightly. Please? Well, Holly clears her throat. She glances to one side. I've heard any number of unsavory rumors about this Dark Witch. It's a pleasure to meet you, too. A neat gesture, but if she really did help you, Fiona, she can't be all that bad. My lady is a wonderful person. People spread biased rumors and filthy lies about her because they're jealous of her power. They should be ashamed of themselves. You do look a lot healthier than you were when I last saw you, Fiona. You've grown up into a real young lady. I suppose I can thank the Dark Witch for that. I've been trying to turn your little sister into a lady, but it hasn't been easy work. She's rather resistant to change. Did you know that she refuses to wear dresses, and her accent is just horrible? You used to wear dresses when you were younger, Fiona. You looked very pretty in them. That was a long time ago. I'm not that girl anymore. I had to get strong and tough so I could survive living out on the streets. If you ain't tough, you go hungry. Don't I know it? But I don't need to worry about that when I'm with Viola. I'm very thankful to appreciate everything she's done for you, but I don't think I can go with you, huh? But why not? Don't you want to be with me again, sis? I do want to be with you, Fiona, and I'm very happy we're able to see each other again, but I suppose I've gone too much to my freedom. I don't want to be cooped up inside the four walls of a castle. I like exploring the great unknown, even if I don't know how to get enough food from one day to the next. It's part of the excitement. You say I've changed from when I was a kid. I think you changed a lot too, sis. Well, it's been 8 years since we last seen one another. A lot can change in that time. That's right, a lot can change. Are you sure you don't wish to come with us? I can win you a nice warm bath, treat that leg of yours. It's a generous offer, but you already helped me so much. I can't accept it. You're more stubborn than I thought, sis. Well, you must have inherited it from someone. Fawn sticks her tongue out at Nev, and Nev signs and pushes her away. Well, if you really don't want to come with us, I can't force you, but Finn looks at Holly's ankle doubtfully. What are you going to do about that? It looks painful. Allow me. I raise one hand in the air, orbs of light begin to gather around my palm. Do you know healing magic too? Naturally. But you're a Dark Witch. I figured you're supposed to be about ruin and death and destruction. They are mostly, but I like to cover all my bases. Now hold still. This will only sting a bit. Light gathers around Ollie's ankle. The air embarked into her skin melts away. The dried blood slowly begins to dissipate. The wound closes up within seconds. In fact, there's no evidence there was ever a wound to begin with. Holly looks at her leg in surprise. She rotates her ankle slowly, as though waiting for a jolt of pain. But no pain comes. I can't believe it. It's really fixed. Well, you should believe it. My mistress is one of the most talented witches there is. There's any type of magic she can't do. She's so strong it's almost disgusting. There's nothing disgusting about my mistress, Fiona. Fiona rubs the back of her head and laughs. I guess not. Sorry. Fiona, I heard a lot of awful rumors about you, but it seems they were unfounded. I'm sorry for believing all the lies and falsehoods so easily. I more than anybody else should know the damage lies can do. My own family suffered greatly because of our neighbor's slander. It's quite alright. You don't need to thank me. I'm not particularly fond of sentimental. Alright then. I know I must seem like a irresponsible big sister, but she bows her head. I'm going to leave Fawn in your care. I know you'll look after her well. Thank you. After a long leaning hug, Holly departs. She keeps amongst the shadows, darting silently from tree to tree until she's out of sight. I'm not sure how she's planning to support herself. She can only go back to Mountain now. She doesn't have any money to her name. But she's been living on the streets for years without getting caught till today. I'm sure she'll be fine. And letting Holly escape, I found somebody far better to take her place. So, shall we go? I think we need to lie down. Imagine the events of the day must have been quite taxing for you. That's one way of putting it. Wait. I take a few steps towards clutching leaves and twigs as I go. I come to a halt by the crumpled corpse form of Helen. She's laying on the forest floor, his thickening hair flying from the ground beneath her, her eyes closed. The impact from my magical blast combined with the humiliation has quietly convinced me not to unconscious. I don't think she'll be waking up in a while, but it's a rather long journey back to my home. I click my fingers and ropes begin to bind Ellen's custom form. The wind about her wrists and ankles. Fiona watches the process curiously and her head tilted to one side. What are you doing? Isn't it obvious? I'm securing my loot. My lady, you don't mean... Are you planning to take this knight back with you? That's the general idea. But she tried to imprison my sister. She shot her in the ankle with an arrow and she tried to lock her up. She's a horrible person. I can't stand her. You can't let her live with us. I can and I will. But what's so great about her? Well, I wonder. It's because she's beautiful, of course. Beautiful, but you already have me. Indeed I do, and I can look at you anytime I wish. I bend down and let my fingers stray across Ellen's smooth cheek. But this night is different. I think she'll make a wonderful addition to my home. But, no buts. You're forgetting who's in charge here, my little thief. I know it's your house and all, but this don't feel right. It ain't right, is it, Nev? I cannot say I'm thrilled by this proposition, but my lady is right. She's the one in charge. Good, I know you see it my way. It's not like they have any other options. I glanced back down at the collapsed form of Ellen, who are now nicely wrapped in ropes like a Christmas present. Oh, Christmas tree! Oh, Christmas tree! There's a lot of questions I want to ask her, and I can think of a lot of ways to procure the answers I want. Tonight's going to be interesting, in more ways than one. Oh, there you go. She's da. Why are you doing this to me? Why not? Why, I question you. I want to enjoy the view. I sat on the edge of my bed. I looked down at Helen. The once proud and distinguished knight is now laying at my mercy, immobilized. Only thing missing from my oar is a nice bottle of wine, and she's like the ultimate villain. If you want my personal opinion, I slid my fingertips across my captain knight's cheek. I think you look a lot better like this. I disagree. Well, you knights ain't exactly known for your authentic senses, are you? Ellen grits her teeth together. She tries to struggle against the restraints, but that only makes them bite into her flesh tighter. She growls at me. Are these enchanted? They might be. You're the worst. You don't feel any remorse, do you? Remorse? I turn my head to one side. Why would I bother with such a silly emotion like that? Why you... Ellen tries to struggle again, but her efforts are in vain. She can't throw these shackles off. It's not possible. You should stop squirming. If you keep it up, you'll hurt yourself. Like you, kid. I don't want to leave any unnecessary marks on your pretty skin. You have a rotten personality, but you're a beautiful woman. You don't seem to care about leaving marks on when you shot that fire spell at me earlier. Well, I had to do that. You were weaving that sword around. It was very dangerous. I was simply trying to defuse a tense situation. And that's why you stepped on me, isn't it? I like reveling in my little victories just as much as the next woman. You're nothing like a normal woman. Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. I giggle softly to myself. How can I leave you be when you're so very much fun to tease? You're prideful and heartly. I like that in a woman. It makes breaking you down a little bit more exciting. You're sick. Well, maybe. I tug at one of the restraints that bind Ellen's arms behind her back. But you're in no position to judge me, are you? Girl. Ellen grits her teeth together, but she doesn't say anything she can't. She knows deep down that I'm right. I'm the one in control. She's completely helpless. With a sigh, Ellen turns her head away. Her eyes are dark and half-lit. So why did you bring me back to your castle? What do you want to know? You catch on remarkably fast, I'm glad. Well, I look at Ellen throughout one-legged, folded across the other. You and I seem to be in a similar position, don't we? We both came to Aspen unwillingly, and you're both from the real world. I make little quotation marks with my fingers, if that is the correct term. I'm curious, where exactly do you come from? Ellen looks at me for a few minutes, her eyes narrowed before she finally replies. I can't pronounce that name, I'm not going to. Well, I figured she'd be from Japan. She was playing Aspen Online on one of the Japanese servers like me. I wonder if anybody from the American and European servers got pulled inside this war too. Would they be able to understand the language? All the signs are written in Japanese. All the citizens speak in varying Japanese delegates. Is that really true? I doubt never friend would ever have heard of Japan if I asked him about it. I'm in Aspen now, and Japan doesn't exist. Maybe they're not actually speaking Japanese, but Aspian. How, then, do I understand the language? How am I able to speak it? And why does all the texts I see look Japanese? Well, being transported into the world of an MMO was already unbelievable. Getting her into unknown logistic skills is just a drop in the ocean, really. It's a pleasure to meet you, Ellen, from whatever. I doubt Ellen is your true name. It's, what is it? It's strange. Her face flushes pale. It's been a while since I used my real name. I almost forgot it. That's no good. Your name was something precious your parents gave you. You can't simply forget it. I know we can't... I know we can be whoever we want in Aspen and use the titles we picked for ourselves, but we shouldn't forget who we used to be. That's surprisingly thoughtful coming from you. I'm a very thoughtful person. I'm not so sure. Ellen looks at me, her eyes narrowed. Her suspicion is so adorable. It makes me want to toy with her even more. My name is, or it used to be, Anna. Annie. Written for the character for love? That's right. Everybody told me my name didn't fit my personality, so... In Aspen Online, I decided to use a different name. A name that sounds like it might suit a knight. I was wondering about that. As for myself, my real name is Kotion. I'm from Tokyo. It's nice to meet you. Kotion, like the instrument the koto? That's right. My parents have been interested in the classics. My mother used to teach classic Japanese dance. But your name in Aspen is violin. That's another instrument. You must have not wanted to revert yourself too badly. I guess not. I leaned back against my bed, stretching. I didn't play Aspen to become an entirely new person or anything. I've always been pretty happy with who I am. A sadist? That's right. I smiled thinly. I have a busy job. Had a busy job, rather, so I played Aspen to let off some steam. When I woke up and found myself here, I was rather relieved. I needed a vacation. My hands have started to cramp up from typing so much. And if I keep staring at my laptop screen, I'm going to need glasses. I don't think glasses would suit me. I shake my head. I'm too beautiful to bother with them. So you don't care that you're in this strange new world? Not really. And Aspen isn't that strange, not to me. I've been playing this world for 2 years already. Now I can play in Aspen for real. I can finally make a long-lasting impact. But don't you want to go home? Isn't that why you kidnapped me? I thought you brought me here so we could discuss ways to return back to Japan. Well, we could do that, but that sounds rather boring. What's with that easygoing attitude? What about your friends, your family? What? They miss you, don't you miss them? We don't even know how time functions here. A day could have passed by in the human world, or a year, or even a few seconds. There's no way to verify these things, so we shouldn't worry too much. But what if there's a reason why we were brought here? Haven't you thought about that? I am curious, of course. Why was I chosen to come to Aspen? Why me? The thought's been running through my mind as of late. But there's no sense of fussing about it now. You're the worst. It's like you only care about yourself. Indeed. It's how I lived while I was on Earth, and I see no reason to change myself now I'm in Aspen. I'm going to do what I want whenever I want, because I'm a dinosaur! I just want to have fun. I let my fingers trail down Ellen's exposed stomach. She shivers beneath my touch. Hey, Ellen, why don't you decide to become a knight when you arrived in Aspen? Being a knight is such a dull, stuffy profession. Why don't you cut loose and have a bit of fun? I was just doing what I thought was right. I wanted to uphold the peace no matter where I am. What job did you do back in the real world? I worked with the police. Why would you continue to do the same job in a fantasy world that you did in the human world? I can hardly believe it. You have such a lack of imagination, it's almost funny. Well, I clicked my lower lip with my tongue. So as long as you're staying with me, I'll teach you how to have a good time. What do you mean? When did we decide that I'm staying with you? You have to stay with me. That's because... I need your help. I need your help. My help? Ellen blinks at me, nonplussed. It seems out of all the answers she was expecting, I wasn't one of them. I don't understand. What could you possibly need my help for? You're the first person I met who came to Aspen from Japan, like I said. Though I'm not overly concerned about returning myself, not at this point in time anyway, I think it would be the most logical course of action if we stayed together. If we worked together, it would be easier for us to find out just why we were brought here and whether there is a way to return home. What do you think? Anne looks at me for a few moments, her lips purse before... Well, of course I think that's a sensible option. She sighs similarly in her head and shakes her head. Her long hair glittered over her naked skin, skinning in the candlelight. I would have suggested the same thing myself, you know. You would? That's right. I don't know why you had to tie me up and threaten me when we could have, talked about it reasonably like two adults. But I wanted to tie you up. I put and pressed my fingers together. You really do look charming like that, and moreover, I thought you might try to run away if I didn't take adequate precautions. Goodness. Ellen rolls her eyes heavenwards. You really are ridiculous, but you will be my ally, right? Well, if I absolutely have to, you're right. We don't have many options open to us. This might be the only way. After I finish interrogating Ellen, I undo the straps that bind her arms and legs together. I don't think she needs restraining anymore. Her sword and armor have been taken away from her. It's not like she could harm me even if she did have it. She's not powerful enough. She'll never be able to best me and she knows it. Maybe that's why after some probing questions she finally agreed to a truce. Hello! Here's what, She literally got a fate, so you have accepted your fate. Do you promise to stay inside my citadel like a good girl? Ellen folds her arms across her chest and snorts. I'm hardly let her know a girl. I'm almost 30. Oh? I raise an eyebrow. You're older than I thought. Do you have a partner waiting for you back at home? A fiancé, a boyfriend, or a girlfriend, maybe? No. Ellen looks away from me. She drops her gaze. There's nobody up. She sighs. There was a girl once, but not anymore. My parents didn't approve. They said I shouldn't be fooling around with other women. They thought it would be better if at my age I tried to find myself a husband. Her face flushes. I can't say I blame her, the poor thing. Sometimes I resent my own parents who are so distant and disinterested with my life, but I think I prefer that over being hounded to find a husband. Why should I get married? I don't want to be tied down to some boring old guy. Guys ain't cute and they're no fun to tease. Now I'm curious, how old are you? How old do you think I am? You act like a spoiled brat. If you must know, I'm 26. You're not that much younger than me. Don't you have a partner waiting for you back home? I don't have the time for that nonsense. You had enough time to play Aspen Online and miss all this stuff. And then looks around my Bordeaux. I think she's impressed, though she tries not to show it. I've been playing on and off since the game launched myself, but I was never able to save up enough money, enough gold for my own homestead, let alone a castle. I believe I'm a rarity amongst players. It's a good thing I have this place too, so I'd be homeless. Is that why you decided to join the Boers City Guards? I joined because I wanted to uphold the law, like I said. But they did give me somewhere to rest my head and food to eat, yes. Well, you don't need to worry about that now. You're living with me. I suppose I am. But how can I not worry, given the situation we're in? And then the boobs just get bigger. Ellen takes a step towards the window. She rests her fingers against the stone still and leans out, staring at the night sky. It's a bright night with precious few clouds. The moon hangs in the sky, soft and eternal. The moonlight shines in Ellen's eyes so they almost seem to flicker. She poses her lips together. The milky moonlight caresses her skin, emulating like it's like a flashy fallen snow. I didn't have a particular interest in life back in Japan, it's true, but it's a life I carved up for myself. It's my life, not this. This person I look like now. This isn't me, and it's not the life I want. Oh? I costume towards her and rest her hand against her shoulder. Ellen tenses at my touch, but she doesn't try to throw me away. For that I am grateful, I suppose. I think she needs someone to stay with her. Though Ellen acts aloof and heartly, she's probably quite scared when she first found herself in Aspen. Unlike me, she didn't have a home to return to or any servants. Coming to Aspen with no creature comforts must have been a lonely, frightening thing. It would have been better for her, I think, if she didn't try to put unnecessary distance between us. I'm only trying to help. Are you not enjoying your life in Aspen? It's not what you wanted? No. Even if I was enjoying myself here, that isn't the point. I have to go back home. I'm an adult. I'm a functioning member of society. I can't just disappear into a video game. Are you sure this is a video game? I don't know. It feels so real, it's so hard to tell. First I thought this might be some bizarre dream, but after meeting you, I'm convinced that it can't be. We were brought here either into the game or into this world, I suppose, but for what reason? Are you trying to find out? Of course I am. What else can I do? I need to find out why I'm here, and I need to go back. Why are you so determined to go back? From what I heard, it doesn't sound like you led a particular happy life. Your parents are pushing you to get married, and your last relationships fall apart. Isn't it better to stay here where you can be a strong knight, a powerful warrior, who doesn't get pushed around? You're pushing me around. An apt point. Honestly, sometimes, I wish I could accept all of this as easy as you can, but you've never been one to accept things at face value, I assume. I can't. I need to find out why I'm here, and you need to go back. That's right. There's no other way I'll allow this story to end, no matter how many tempting offers you might make me. I'll stay by your side for now, because it's easier than being alone in a strange new world, but if I can find a way to return home, I will. And you'll leave me here? If you find a way to go back, wouldn't you go back, too? Eventually, perhaps, but I miss Fiona's cute face and having my own adorable maid. But other than that's really real. It feels real enough. I pinch the back of Helen's hand. Doesn't that feel real? It isn't the same. She shakes her head. A cold wind catches in Helen's head, flutters behind her like a cape. It's so long and silky, it's almost memorizing. I wonder what Ellen's hair looks like in the real world. Does she model her Aspen character avatar to herself like I did? Or does the real Ellen look significantly different to her avatar? What's real and what's fake anyway? Ellen keeps talking about going back to the real world. This ward feels real enough to me. Personally, I think you're walking yourself up over nothing. And I think you're being too much calm about this. And let's agree to disagree, but being trapped in a world like this must be intimidating, especially to the unprepared. I must admit, even I was a bit shaken at first. You were? That's right. I know it's hard to believe since I've taken everything in my stride, but it's true. I know why you want to go back home, so let's make a deal. If we can find out why we're here and how to get back, I'll help you return. You can go back to Japan and live your old life. Maybe I'll go back with you, maybe I'll stay here. I haven't quite decided yet. But so as long as you're staying with me, I don't want to let you suffer. I thought you enjoyed watching me suffer. You treated me quite brutally back in the forest. That's because you are an enemy who foolishly tried to challenge me. You're not an enemy anymore. You agreed to work with me, so I'll work with you. Let's help one another as allies. Should, alright? I extend my pinky finger. Promise? Ellen looks at me for a few minutes with narrowed eyes. She seems hesitant and unsure. Until I smile, she starts to laugh. A pinky promise? Really? What's wrong with that? It's so childish. I have the heart of a child. I can tell you don't think things through and you do whatever you want. You treat people like toys. You play with them too, and then you throw them away when you get bored. But I guess it's kind of cute. My parents were strict. I didn't have much of a childhood. I might as well act it out while I have the chance. I see. Maybe we're not that different after all. Alright then, I suppose I'll trust you. I don't think I'll be able to escape from Aspen on my own, but if I have the fear of Dark Witch Varro by my side, I'm sure I'll be able to do it. Of course, I was the top player in Aspen Online. I've been in all the dungeons and bosses, and all the optional bosses too. If we've been sucked into a strange game by the will of a higher being, then I'll defeat them too. Then it's decided. It will be a pleasure working with you, Viola. Let's do our best to unravel this mystery together. And Iki links her own pinky promise with mine. The two of us exchange a small smile. I don't really care about going home, but figuring out why we're here might be an interesting experience. I like experiencing new things. It's good for my skin. Makes me feel younger. And so it is. With a newfound convention in my heart, I've obtained a new goal. I'm going to answer the most talked about philosophical query there is. Why am I here and what is my purpose? I think if I'm with Helena, I might be able to work that out. All I need is a little bit of time. And that is the end of the game. There are two other endings in this game, but I'm going to get them off stream to get the platinum. If you want to see those endings, I'd recommend buying the game yourself. Fun little story, and I have a feeling if it's going to be like the Succubus games I have that have 5 parts, this will probably have multiple parts as well. So let's sit through the credits because we watch the credits on every game. And wow, we've been streaming this game for 3 hours. Jesus Christ. You would think this was Friday the 13th or something. Alright, and like I said, Tuesday night I'm taking off. So I will see you guys again on Wednesday. Everyone have a good rest of your day and see you all next time. Peace out, everybody.